my god! Oh my god! It's the SBC podcast episode. What number are we on now?
I think this is 29 or 30.
Well, dude, I literally don't even care. I don't know why I asked you.
Yeah, dude.
But this is SBC podcast episode 29 or 30, baby. And we have our following hosts for the evening is myself, the wonderful Ronan. We have everyone's favorite. I'm trying to think of something nice to say. Ham Wallet. We have Ham Wallet.
Yeah, that was pretty nice to say.
You're literally wonderful and awesome, and I love you.
Aw.
Okay, and we have you. The other two can introduce themselves.
Yeah, it's me, Taco Bell's biggest soldier, Mr. H.
Ooh, I just happen to have Taco Bell right here, actually.
Ooh, we like that.
And I'm gonna have to leave halfway through this episode for the Taco Bell shits. But you know what's gonna
Wait,
be
what?
What?
Wait,
Star
who
Lord?
said that? I don't think this guy's supposed to be
I don't
on.
know. Did you guys hear something?
I don't know who said that. They haven't introduced themselves yet, so they don't exist to me yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's me, Goog, from the last episode, hopefully.
From The Last of Us?
Hello.
Goog, it's
No,
your birthday.
no, it's getting big again. Goog, you're never
happy
being in an episode.
Birthday, Goog.
Someone actually made that for me on my birthday.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was
It was
wonderful.
beautiful. I love it. That's actually one of my favorite videos because it's literally just the Lisa, it's your birthday, but somebody just like they're literally recording their their TV while they're watching that episode, and they just have like a text to speech like button that just says Goog, and they just play it over like whatever. They try to sync it up, and it just overlaps to all hell. And just like Goog, it's your birthday, happy birthday, Goog. And because Goog is only one syllable and Lisa's two, it's just like the most awkward thing on the planet.
They like stretch it out with like two syllables.
The person who's
Goog. No, because it's
person
not.
who
They did
sent
just
me
a
that-
protective speech voice. It goes Goog.
the person who sent me that, I forgot. I was busting out laughing, but I forgot to respond to it. And so they got really upset that I didn't say anything. They were just like, oh,
I would be
okay.
upset too. I would pour that person poured their heart and soul into that. Like I would be upset.
I felt
Dude,
really
you're
bad
going to
about
fucking
it.
hell.
Yeah,
dude.
you're going to jail, dude.
No, afterwards I was
No,
like, oh my God, I'm so
no.
Burn it out, right?
Yeah, you're gonna burn in hell for that.
sorry. I hope not.
No, I don't think you're gonna burn in hell for that. It's okay.
That's okay. Yeah, you
Dude,
won't-
we
Yeah, maybe
okay,
for the other thing.
in the fucking past hour leading up to this episode, we've had a complete shit show.
What do you mean? I don't know, we had like
we
Spy
said,
X
okay,
Family,
kind of
had,
this, we
like,
decided to
Anya
do this
Forger.
recording. Dude, nobody cares.
Nobody cares about Sonic R.
In the hour leading up to this episode, because we basically decided like this afternoon, we were like, oh, let's do an impromptu recording tonight. I got home, I got on Discord because I was waiting for everybody else to get on, and Goog and Ham get on accordingly. Hanif says he'll be home at 7:30, and we were like, where the hell is Hanif? And I check Instagram and I look at the cartel group chat, and I just see Hanif's been sitting in an audio call with Joey for like 30 minutes, and I was like, what the fuck is he doing? And I got it. I was like, where are you? And he was like, I couldn't find you guys because we were in another friend's server that apparently he wasn't in. And I was like, so instead of bothering to text any one of us and be like, where are you guys? You just decided to hop in another call for
Well, the
30
thing
minutes.
is,
until
it was
magically got on.
even 7:30 yet, so I was just
It was-
assuming
and then we had to set up Hanif's OBS, and that was a fucking other story.
And then Hanif had it under a DM and he Googled Anya.
What is
Wait,
that?
hold on.
It's like
Wait,
great.
Hanif. Wait, Hanif, by the way, did you check your email?
Have you
I
op-
think you need to check your email.
No, don't do that.
It's gonna be
Don't
like
do
a
it.
zip
Scary.
bomb or something. I'm not opening it.
I would love to
No,
send
it's
you.
not a
a-
zip
I'd
bomb.
love to
Hanif's
send you a
gonna
zip bomb.
It's gonna be like a
disappear
picture of
for the
like
rest
my
of the
house, like the
episode.
backyard of my house. Just something.
I would never do that.
It's like that one. It's like that one TikTok video that lady. She's like, "That's the back of my house." That is disgusting.
That's
Wait a minute. That's
disgusting.
the back of my house.
Back of my motherfucking house. All right, hold on. I have a topic I want to bring up.
Okay.
Let's talk about Shinjuku Kurosaki. How about that? What do you think about that?
Oh, of course, the world famous. So, for any of you viewers at home who haven't heard the news yet, Metroid Prime 4 has been
Yeah,
canceled.
Metroid Prime 4 is
That's right.
permanently like
It's never coming
gone.
back.
It's not coming back. Don't count on it. But here's the silver lining. So the lead director of Metroid Prime 4 and Metroid Dread sold 6 copies in the U.S. By the way. That he is now working on God of War Ragnarok, and he's uploading like new releases, and he's permanently shutting down Metroid Prime 4. Like it's not happening. Don't count on it. Hollow Knight Silk Song is also getting its sequel. in 2024. He wanted me to
Oh
tell you.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what you like to hear.
Very
But
excited.
That's what you
I
like
like
to
how you
hear.
say that like as of recording this, God of War Ragnarok hasn't been out for a day already.
That's getting like updates, like a new content, right?
Yeah, he's gonna get new content. The Metroid Prime 4 guy,
Yeah.
Shinjuku Kiyosaki.
Suzuki Furusawa. He's like the new developer. He's doing good things.
We need to put that video on the channel. It's so
It's
funny.
really good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
guys,
explain
I
it to-
know, I know Bingo did lie on the last episode he
Oh,
was
he
on.
did. Did you
or
guys
maybe the
talk?
one
Did you guys
before
end up
that.
talking about Metroid Prime cancellation in the last episode? Like I said.
No, he did say that it's still coming out, and I was
Oh.
like, then where is it, Bingo?
Yeah,
And
where's
he
the
watched it,
where's the
so-
gameplay footage, Bingo? Where's the gameplay?
I keep telling him
footage?
that Metroid Dread sold 6 copies in the U.S. and he won't believe me. Like, it didn't sell.
Yeah, he's a denier. He just denies
Yeah.
any like false, like horrible things about Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
I mean, he won't accept that Hollow Knight just simply sold more copies than.
He also won't accept that Elden Ring won the worst Game of the Year award. And it's like, it's not
He
like
also-
a Game of the Year.
I don't understand how they thought Brie Larson could sell a Metroid game.
Yeah,
I don't know what they were
yeah.
thinking with that.
I
This
don't
bit,
know.
this bit is like, this bit is just turned into a monster.
Also, in the new Metroid, like, they did like a Matrix crossover where like Agent Smith says, like, he goes up to Morpheus and he says, another monkey
No!
fell from the banana tree. He's like, oh my god, why would you say that, man?
Stop.
Why would you put that in that movie?
You're out of control. We've been recording for like 5 minutes and you're out of control.
He said,
already.
I didn't, it was the voice direction. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, bro.
Can't do
Okay.
that.
You can't say
We
that.
can do whatever we
We can do whatever.
We can take whatever we want.
We can pull up as many fucking Anya taps as we want. We can go Google. We can look on Spy Family as many times as we
Guys,
want.
look up Spy Family, like,
We can go a bad Patala. We can look
What
at
is
the
that?
most recent
What was that
post,
site you
all
were
we
doing your?
want.
What was that site you were doing
Wait.
your schoolwork on?
Oh, Canvas?
Yes, Canvas.
Canvas?
No, that's not. Oh, wait, Ham, did you just mention Bad Futala?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
No, he's doxed all
You're
of
not
us
supposed to
now.
do that.
Dude, my favorite thing about Bap. So I'm just explain this for the viewers at home. There's an Instagram account. I think we've already talked about this on the podcast, but it's good to
I
finally
don't
give a
think we
recap.
have.
There's an Instagram account that Goog made called Bad Patala a while ago. It was supposed to be like a Dragon Ball shitpost account, and at some point he just like you basically were just like, fuck it, I'm gonna give a bunch of people the password, right?
Yeah, I just gave up at some
And
point.
like
because-
every person in the cartel and a bunch of Goog's friends like has the access to that account, so they all just post shit on it anonymously, and it's just like pure chaos embodied. Like there's no rhyme or reason. And every time I used to be logged into it, I logged out because me, Ham, Hanif, and Joey went on an evil spree on that account one time. And I was like, this is too much power. Like I have to give this up. And I logged out.
I didn't start sending those from the FBI.
Because
Okay,
it logged
so-
in,
And random
we gave him the account login, and because when a new device logs in on an Instagram account, it puts a notification on the account of like a device was attempting to log in from this location.
Also, what
And it
happened
had,
was,
like-
I had that screenshot of like Ham's address, and like I sent it to like a bunch of sex workers, and like I sent it to, like the FBI account, and then I said, "Help me, I'm in danger." And then like 2 minutes later, I got kicked out of Instagram, and I couldn't download it again. And I had to fucking get it from a third party.
I just love you DMing like these big titty cosplay women on the account and just like sending them Ham's location.
That was awesome.
I think
And Joey
when
and Joey was going on his own evil spree on at the same time. And
let me tell you what happened. When I logged into Bad Putala the day after, I didn't know any of that happened. When I logged in, and I didn't see the address stuff. I think that already got deleted. But I saw a voice message, and it was just Joey singing to a cosplay woman with large memories. And he was just like, "Oh, I treat you right." And it was just like 30 seconds of him singing to this woman, like in an audio message. I was like, "What is this?"
dude, that was the day I got my Sega Genesis, and I remember it was like pissing rain that day, and I had to take like a 4-hour it was like 3 hours. It was like a 3-hour transit out to Surrey, and then the guy that I was supposed to meet from Facebook Marketplace took like 2 hours to show up, so I was stuck out in the rain, and I was fucking miserable. But I had my Sega Genesis, and I came back, and like I came back, and I just remember getting on like being soaking wet, getting on Discord, and just like that was like we just decided to go on Bad Patala, and then like the most chaotic fucking night of all time ensues. Like we.
That was awesome.
I just like the funniest shit ever was just getting the notification of like a user attempted to log in from this location. It just had a picture of it. And so we kept making these shitty like video edits, and Hanif kept making a bunch. It was like the green bird from Sonic 3D Blast, and then it would be like Ham's address, and he would just send them to people. And the screenshot he took of Ham's location, because he had Discord mobile open. So when Hanif took the screenshot, it had like the little icon on the top left. You know, it changes depending on to the profile picture of whoever's talking at the time. Yeah. So and Hanif's profile picture was just the green flicky from Sonic 3D Blast. It's literally just a picture of Ham's location with the green bird from Sonic 3D Blast in the top left.
It's like looking over it.
He's just looking at it. Dude, the funniest part was when Joey, like, I gotta agree with Goog. Like, the best part was just seeing that voice message from Joey, of him just singing to that like giant breasted woman, just be like, "Ooh, gonna treat you right.
I'm gonna treat you right."
I think the moment I realized that my reach had probably been too far in Bad Putala, there's some there have been group chats on that account that account's been in group chats for years, but most of them have been dead. But since the other admins had been using it, and one time someone in there sent the face of Funny of SBC fame, and it just had the word "cracker" under it. It was just like, oh my gosh.
The thing about Bad Patala is like there's literally no responsibility. Like nobody has to take responsibility for anything that's supposed to get out, because you, depending on like, you can try and sleuth out who posted what depending on like. Because usually, like, I'll check the account and it'll be something relating to whatever we talked about on Discord last night. But then that, like, narrows it down to, like, a potential 5 people. And because people go on that account specifically pretending to be each other and post, like somebody was on there the other night posting shit that Hanif would have normally posted. That it's like... Somebody was pretending to be Hanif, and I think it was Bingo or something, or Ham or something, right?
It was
not me.
No, it was actually me. I kept
was it
posting
you?
on your photos.
Okay, you were posting like Spy Family memes, and people would go on the account, and people would go follow hashtags and follow like hashtag gay man and shit like. And it's not until somebody decides to go on Bad Patal and look through the following thing that they see all of like the horrible shit that they followed.
Dude, I saw this story post from Bad Patel that made me like pee my pants laughing. It's so funny. It was like a close friends post, and it was just a screenshot of this like jacked like man in a Speedo, like this jacked hairy bearded man in a Speedo. It just said, "Okay, which admin followed this account?" And the account name was Gay Muscle Daddy.
My favorite part when I was still logged in that account, the funniest shit ever was that night. It was the same night when Joey and Ham and me and Hanif were fucking being evil. But I remember I specifically went and tagged a bunch of Kyle Rittenhouse accounts and followed a bunch of Kyle Rittenhouse like fan pages. They started following back, and they all started like interacting with all of the posts, like the ones that didn't have anything to do with Kyle Rittenhouse, and they were just commenting on like these like shitty Dragon Ball memes. They're like, they were talking about like, I think Goku would win, and I was like, it was like Kyle Rittenhouse did nothing wrong 411, and it was like the funniest shit ever.
It was scary.
It's like these evil like Kyle Rittenhouse like fucking followers, and just like commenting on these fucking Dragon Ball memes.
We're not gonna talk about the first arc.
I remember that night Goog was like, "Stop it, do not follow."
Goog was like, you guys are out of control.
No, that pushed it a little too far.
I agree is the thing. That was the night I left Bad Patala, wasn't it?
Because the issue was at that time also like others like people's not, because also Ham's information was getting posted, and I was really afraid that people were gonna like trace that back to me, like, oh, Goog is like on an evil tirade, just me, because for all they knew, I was still adminning that account. Like, I never officially stated that there was like 8 new admins.
The funniest thing about like Bad Patala to me personally is that like certain people will go on there just to like say or like do things like that specifically involve me or like are targeted at me. So I'll just go on there every once in a while and I'll see a post about like, I'm so afraid of Jaguar Ronan or some shit like that.
My goal right now on Bad Football is just to post a joke that only 3 people would get, and then see like,
and then
how
try
other
to
people
see if anyone
react to
can figure it out. That's like Bad Patal is like the ultimate enigma account, because you only like, you could be, it doesn't matter if you're one of the admins or not, like you only understand 20% of the content that's posted on there if you're lucky. Like I'm looking at it right now, and I just see like a fucking spy family, like a spy family meme, a picture of Hanif, a Family Guy clip, a Kamoshida from Persona 5, Mojo from X-Men, and it's like, and just like some Kratos God of War memes. Dude, the funniest shit is one time, I can't remember, I think it was like me and Ham and like one other person were in call, and we were like, dude, look at Bat Patala, and we check Bat Patala, and there's somebody's posting like dozens of like shitty Marvel x Disney Photoshop memes, and
yeah,
it's literally
like
just
one post a second. It was insane.
like one a second, and they just keep posting them, and it was like Happy Hogan as Wreck-It Ralph, and then it was like T'Challa as the guy from Frozen, I think, right? And it was like it was like Pixar, like Marvel character Photoshop mashups, and they were like
they looked up Marvel memes on Google Images and posted 80 of them.
And they posted like 80, and we were like, dude, we have to strike back. So I went and I downloaded the Frieza Plays Undertale videos, and I chopped them up into like 3 seconds, like tidbits, and just started posting them. So you'd see like Wreck-It Ralph, like Happy Hogan, and then like you'd see like Captain America Sven or some shit like that, and then it would just be like Frieza going like, oh my god, I got a gumdrops. This is Undertale.
Yeah.
This is Flowey.
Oh yeah, it's like the Salad Snake said in that Frieza voice. Yeah.
Oh,
I
I don't
you
like
my
that.
Frieza impression. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Ooh, I don't know.
I love how he's like trying to scrub that from the fucking internet. It's
not
Wishful just sent me a post. You know that meme where it's like flirting versus harassment? And it's like it's Yakuza, then it's Persona 5.
That's
I know
pretty
the
awesome.
original image.
It's
yeah.
like you know, it's like the what's the character from Yakuza's like it's not
Dami Dene.
Dame Dane.
yeah, Dame Dene guy, right?
guy,
Of course.
yeah.
But he goes, you know, a hero who could save people like in Dragon Quest, and then on the right it's harassment, it's Futaba for Persona 5. It's like so it's like the whole challenger approaching thing in Super Smash Bros. You fight whoever shows up. And this guy just says, I had a dream Futaba said some stupid shit like this, and I punched her in the eye full force and none of the other thieves cared. Dude, I'm genuinely enjoying like the shit out of Persona 5 right now.
Yeah, man.
When we get to Futaba, like it's gonna be all hell let loose because I know I'm gonna hate the shit out of her.
Yeah, well, the thing about Futaba is like I want a grand shot by the end of the year, Preggers. Like that's the thing about.
Oh man, that's Loden's favorite video.
That's a great video. Yeah, you should
I
send that to Loden,
don't
right?
want to explain that to the audience. Somebody else can do that.
The funniest, like that was one of the funniest was that morning where it's like me and Joey were like completely sleep deprived, and it was like 7 in the morning, and we were just in the cartel, and Hanif was there too because Hanif was getting up for school, and me and Joey we were just complete, like we couldn't sleep that night, so we were just up in the cartel. We were just making shitty like videos, and I kept making edits that would like the Sonic 3D Blast intro, and then it would turn into like the Persona 5 fandom comic like halfway through. And we made the edit of the John Mayer song where it's like, your body is preggers, your body is jokers.
So
Dude,
bad.
I do not
So
like
funny.
John Mayer.
Yeah, John Mayer said some nasty things, man.
John Mayer like doxed me. I don't like him.
John Mayer did. Oh yeah, I guess we didn't talk about that. That night where it was like us going evil on Bad Patala with like Ham's location. Joey made a video where it was him singing over the music video for Your Body Is a Wonderland, and it replaced all of the lyrics with like Ham's like personal info.
That's sick.
He's like, your body is something.
Your body is 408.
He lives right here.
He
and
lives,
then it, and then
he
it, like,
lives
zooms.
right here, and then Ham's location would flash up in the video. We have a serious problem with like doxing each other.
It's just fun.
That's
It's just
true,
a good
but
fun.
it is funny.
It's very funny, but it's like it's gonna get it already kind of started to get to a point where the other day where we were playing Jackbox, and Bingo has like my full address because like I don't really care about like the people in the cartel doing that information because I trust them all, but it's like Bingo takes that and he basically like he knows what he's doing. He dangles it in front of my face for like as long as he can without me caring. Because I'm generally pretty laid back about this shit. Because I know Bingo's not gonna do anything malicious with my address, but he'll do shit where he'll pull up pictures of my house from like Google Street View that are like 5 years old from before I moved into that place. He'd be like, "This you?" And I'm like, "Yes, Bingo, that is me." And he'll specifically look around like in my neighborhood for shit that's in my neighborhood. So when I mentioned like I remember one time I was like, because it was the night that me and my boss got locked in at the self-serve storage, and so we got out and it was like 9:30 at night, and we went to like the Taco Del Mar because we were hungry, and I was gonna get like a shitty burrito, and I remember I said that in the cartel. I was telling them what happened, and Bingo's like, Ronan, whatever you do, don't look at the animal hospital across the street from you. Okay. I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing, you fucking idiot. You just googled like my fucking address, and then you looked for like the closest Taco Del Mar. And the other night we were playing Jackbox, and Bingo thought it'd be a good idea to make half of his prompt answers like my full address. And in hindsight, it was very funny, but it got to a point where it just kept happening. Where I'm like, dude, this is like, I'm not comfortable with this anymore.
That was scary.
That was scary. That was like very scary. He should not.
That was Maurice showing his like.
At least it was 100p. What, you know?
Oh yeah, he had like shooters in the
something
area.
Yeah.
Have you guys talked about that before on the podcast?
I don't think we have. But yeah, I can bring it up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, essentially, the guy who did the Knuckles tracks from Sonic Adventure 2, he's pretty much a huge piece of shit. And I remember, I think Emmy Jones tried collaborating with him one time, and like he like demanded a lot of money, and Emmy Jones was like, "Yeah, I just can't do that." Okay, he said the most reasonable like response to that was he sent her a message saying, "I got shooters in your area," and like that's like a thing.
No, you're missing. But didn't he try to get it like? He tried to get sexual favors.
He did do that.
Yeah, and then she was like, "Fuck no, I'm not going to do that."
And then he said, "Yeah, I got shooters."
And he literally just says, "I got shooters."
Yeah,
in
what
your
a
area.
response! Imagine like getting fired. You just reply, "I got shooters in your area."
What an insane person! Like an actual insane person.
Well, he's trying to get into Aquatic Mind. So
well, he was also pulling that shit. He was pulling that shit earlier that year where he was trying to talk about Sega didn't pay him for the songs or some shit like that.
Like, yeah, they did.
Didn't he also scam people?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He also contributed to Roe v. Wade. I mean, I don't want to talk about that.
I don't know.
Contributed in what way?
Wobby Wade.
He looked in there. He looked at the legislation.
Is that
he said,
Ministry of
I found
Otaku?
it.
He said,
Is that
"Let's
Ministry
take a
of Otaku talking
dive
about Roe
in
v. Wade?
abortion rights." I was a cold pepper, now it's a water ride.
Can't see the fetus, but it's around somewhere.
Stop!
No fear.
Stop it!
Bad.
Bad Hanif.
Bad Patala,
Bad
yeah.
Goog.
Bad Hanif.
Yeah, you were one bad Patala, mister.
Patala.
You were one bad Patala recent post, mister.
Oh yeah,
Hanif
that
and
reminds me.
Goog are sentenced
I don't think we
to.
should talk about Earl, actually, yeah.
We should not talk about Earl.
Yeah,
I don't
we don't
think we should.
We don't talk about Earl.
We don't talk
okay?
about Earl.
All right, Goog and Hanif are sentenced to
did I
facing the
do?
crab from the Family Guy bit.
No.
Oh yeah, Rigo's no.
Remember when you pissed off Bingo so hard that he let? I don't think we
That
can
was
talk
so
about the
funny.
story, but
That
I'm
well,
thinking
you know
about
what?
it.
I did that. I didn't even care because that was the night after he did that Jackbox shit where he doxed me. So I was just like, dude, I don't care. So Bingo was trying to set something. He was trying to join us in Halo, and there's a problem, and he was trying to figure out what to do. And like somebody asked him something, and he said no, and I just thought of like, oh, like the crab from Family Guy. And I started talking over him, and I went no. And he went, he got really mad, and he went, oh fuck you guys, and he left.
That's
So
awesome.
fucking funny. No.
This is like the anti-Bingo episode. We talked about.
I love Bingo. I love Bingo, but
He's awesome.
the thing about Bingo is he's a
love
fire
Bingo.
starter, and I know he's listening to this episode, and I know you know it's true, Bingo.
He loves to start fires.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like to feel the heat. He gets scared.
Yeah, and I know you can hear this, Bingo, and that's why I'm saying it.
And I know you're afraid of battling the crab from Family
I know
Guy.
you're very afraid, but here's the thing about the crab from Family Guy, Bingo. You can go around him.
You can go
and
around
that's a
him.
lesson you
can't
gotta
go
learn in
around
life.
Retep,
And he-
though.
and he
Retep
won't
is
hurt you.
too powerful.
You can go under him, kinda.
Retep is scary.
Retep is
okay.
very
You can also go through time.
Wait,
True. And you can something the pain away.
you can't do that.
We can going through time. We're going through time.
Oh, that's something we could Ronan doesn't want to buy Sonic Frontiers because he's scared. He's afraid that Sonic.
Ronan's
might
always
be
been like a
good.
No,
like
Goog,
a-
you misunderstand me. I'm going to play it. That's not the issue. The issue is I'm
They're
not going to
to
pay.
play it, but you don't want to give them money.
No.
No.
You know what? You know what my thing on that is? I'm gonna be 100% real with this. Like I said this to Hanif and to Joey and to Wishful the other day. We are literally the 4 kinds of Sonic fans I feel like you can be right now. Wishful is like he's still got like hope in him. Like he's still got hope left in him because Wishful only recently like deep dived into like some of the blenders. Like he only played Lost World and Forces and shit recently, and he's way more optimistic about it. Me and Hanif and Joey have been on the fucking like frontline receiving end of Sega's bitch slap over the last few years. So I was there for Lost World, Forces, and like all of that shit. So I basically like Forces left such a bad taste in my mouth at the time where I was like, okay, these guys are incapable of doing anything. Yeah. So I had no faith in Frontiers, and finding out that it's even half decent is like a pure shock to me. And it's the kind of thing where I'm like, I gotta play this. I gotta get hands-on with this and play this myself. I'm not gonna be able to take anything anyone says at face value.
Yeah, you can't. Like, I can't even blame you, dude, because of fucking 10 years of mediocrity, man. That shit sucks.
It's been 10 years of just bad like mismanagement and bad decisions, just all across the board.
This fucking franchise.
Sonic is literally like, it is just like video game Stockholm syndrome, because it's like you want to walk away every time you say you're gonna leave and you always come back. Like that's, I'm like I thought I was strong enough. Like Joey's basically put his foot down. Joey's basically said I'm fucking done, and he's not gonna play Frontiers. Even if Frontiers is like magically good, he's not gonna play it. And then Wishful is like, he actually was looking forward to it. He's gotten it. He's playing it now and he's enjoying it. And it's like, the answer is gonna lie somewhere in the middle, and that's why I need Hanif.
Yeah, and like here's my prediction with that. I think when I play it, I think Joey's gonna play. He's gonna say, "Perhaps I treated you too harshly." Retribution. But like, this game's actually pretty good.
He's gonna be sitting there in front of his CRT, and he's gonna go, "Oh my god!
Oh my god! I
get it now!
I get it now! I get it!" But I feel comfortable, like, you know, obviously I'm going to pirate it. Let's not beat around the bush. I feel comfortable doing that simply because I bought Forces when it came out, and I feel I'm owed something. And I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad pirating a AAA game like that, because it's like, Forces sold well. It shouldn't have. It shouldn't have sold well. It did sell well. Frontiers is selling great. I don't feel bad. If the game is decent, I feel like that's what they owed me. Like I'm at that point, right? I don't feel like paying full price for it because I know it's not going to be worth. I'm stingy as fuck about full price games, anyways, so I'm not going to pay.
Full price Shinjuku Kidasari already has you covered, so I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's going to use the God of War money.
Yeah.
He's going to make God of War versus Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to make God of War.
I can't believe that circumstance has placed those two things parallel, and there's an even amount of discussion about both right now.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm excited
insane.
for?
Yeah. That's insane to me.
Except for Pokemon, which is gonna fucking suck. It's gonna fucking suck.
Nobody really cares. I haven't really seen anybody talk about it.
I could care less about Pokemains right now. Like I don't know.
Oh yeah, Pokemon,
dude, I just like
Goog,
It is insane to me how like we're at the point now where the concept of a Sonic game just being like okay and like passable is enough. Right?
I just
now.
like
that's
I
where
like
we're
seeing
at.
Sonic back in the limelight again. We had a great movie. We had fucking what else was this here? I mean, I guess Origins was kind of
we had the comics. We had
we're in the Sonic
Origins was a fucking missed opportunity. Origins was like, I've never seen anybody take such a simple idea and drop it.
It's because they were rushed for time. The devs were rushed.
It wasn't just that; it was corporate.
Wait. How can you be rushed for time on 3 emulated games? 4
I'm going
through time. I mean, from what I understand, the whole concept was that they ported, because they're Whitehead ports, right? Yeah. So they did the same thing they did with that. They made the new engine, and they ported all those games. So they're essentially they're essentially rebuilt in a new engine, right? They're not emulated.
Pretty much.
So that brings about its own problems, because the thing about the Whitehead ports that's so great is those are made in their own engine. Those games, like those Whitehead ports, are like the best way to play Sonic 1, 2, and CD.
Fantastic.
but because of that, like, there's more work that has to be, like, there's basically what I'm pointing getting across. There's unforeseen issues that have come because of that, because they didn't get the time to smooth that out. So there's a lot of bugs in Origins that are native to that version of the game because they didn't exist in the original, because the originals used a different engine.
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
That's the bottom line.
Also,
and there was a lot of other stuff that they wanted to do that Sega basically just told them no. Because in concept, Origins is a great idea, because it's like, everybody wanted a Whitehead port of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and this way it's a one purchase. You get all of the games in the Whitehead engine. You get all of that, and then maybe a few extras, and it's like that should have been enough. But it was like $50, and it was
Michael
buggy.
Jackson's not even there.
And yep. There's features that were missing, and it's like, it's not even the best way. At the end of the day, it's not even the best way to play Sonic 3 and Knuckles in widescreen, which is the big thing. Like that's kind of the big selling point of Origins at the end of the day. Like, you can get Sonic 1, 2, CD, all those, like, those games are so easy to get because the Whitehead ports are just on Steam. And I mean, they're not anymore, which is another issue with Origins, but like, that's ultimately the biggest appeal of Sonic Origins was just the fact that they were going to have Sonic 3 and Knuckles in widescreen, right? And they fucked that up because there's inherently better ways to play it. You can just go through fan patches and there's just better ways. So, it ends up being a flop. But I mean, Sonic's had a decent run outside of gaming, which is the kind of funniest thing. Like the comics, the movies, like the merchandise, like that stuff's all been cool. Like Sonic 2 was a blast. Like Sonic 2 was the best movie going experience I've had in a while. Like I felt like a little kid in that theater watching that shit. Like I was so happy.
It was so fun.
I was like, okay, I'm on the spectrum. This is my day. Like this is literally for me. So when that Shadow the Hedgehog scene came up, like I did not care. I got up and I went, "It's Shadow! It's Shadow the fucking Hedgehog! Yes!"
This was Ronan's Black Panther. Like this
literally like fucking Black Panther for like neurodivergent people. Like that's what that movie was.
I was gonna say, I think I said this off the podcast, but I don't think there's a single fandom like more passionate than Sonic fans. Like I cannot.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there on the sole aspect of the fact that it's like, I feel like in any other community, getting battered over the head by your series that much would just make you like comatose. But Sonic fans just keep like, call it stupidity or call it just blind faith or whatever. They like it's a cycle that repeats like every 4 years where it's like Sonic Team announces a new game. People put their hope in it. They play it all when it comes out. The game is shit. And then they fucking go back into recession for like another 4 years until the next one, and they rinse and repeat. There's a moment of saving grace every 3 or 4 years. There's a tiny moment of saving grace that is immediately dashed when the next mainline game comes out. Yep. You get a 4-month grace every 4 years. You get like a 4-month grace period where Sonic is good, and then it's shit again. You get Sonic 2 movie, then you get you get Frontiers and Origins and that shit, right? Even though we're kind of at the point now, I guess I don't know how to feel about Frontiers yet because I haven't played it, but. The idea of like, I don't know, I just don't like, I've been spending the last 10 years just kind of being like, dude, Sonic's just like been a shit series. So the idea of getting like, Mania was the only time I had even a little bit of hope, and that was dashed like a month later when Forces came out. So it's like, it's just weird. I've been in that mindset ever since Forces where I'm like, dude, this series is just gonna suck ass. So I'm kind of not mentally geared to go back into the mindset of like Sonic is a good series again.
Forces fucking sucks, man.
Forces is like horrible. Like Forces is undefendable. I feel
I can't believe they had the goal to like when that trailer came out. It was like from the people who brought you Sonic Generations and Sonic.
I've never felt more insulted. Like I played Halo 4 and 5, and I've never felt more insulted by a video game than when I played Sonic Forces. It's a genuinely insulting game to play.
Like it has good stuff, but like that Amy sex scene is really well made. But the fucking like all the other aspects.
Knock it off.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, laugh it up, fuzzball. Okay. Yeah, I did. I don't know. It must have been the wind. I think I left my window open.
I jokingly say this every time a Sonic game comes out. But I always say that if they just added a Chow Garden to a terrible game, then everyone would.
That's true.
Like, I don't care,
dude. They if they had made mobile Chow Garden by now, holy shit. They could have just abandoned mainline Sonic as a series.
Like, I feel like the Chow Guard is such like a unique and bizarre thing that just never, like, outside of the adventure games, just to never touch again. Like, it's very strange. I guess because does it only work in the adventure formula?
I mean,
don't think so.
I don't think it inherently needs to, because like even in Generations, it's like you use an item shop, right? Like you can.
Yeah.
And Unleashed would have been able to. I feel like Unleashed would have been fine to do it with. I guess. Like I don't know. It's just like it's such a big part of the adventure game's identity. I think maybe that's
games,
why.
I get it. Okay, so here's a question I do have. Do you think remaking, not remastering, but remaking Adventure, the first one, is a good idea? Like, do you think that could work?
It could absolutely, but like it's such a broad. The thing about where remakes are right now, in terms of how games are remade, it's so broad as to what it can be. So it's like you've got instances where you've got the game essentially being like genuinely, like you've got remakes where it's like, oh, everything from an HD port to like, oh, we've upgraded the graphics with new models, a new engine, but it's still the same game at its core. You've got, oh, we changed everything entirely. Like the Destroy All Humans remake is a great example, because they rebuilt that game in a new engine. They redid. It's essentially an entirely new game built from the ground up, but the missions, the dialogue, all of that shit is the same. It's just that implementations have been made to the sandbox, the combat, and all this kind of stuff to make it more modern, but it's essentially the same game, just with a fuck ton of polish over top of it.
I think my issue with remaking Adventure is that it loses a lot. I feel like it'd lose a lot of its charm.
It would. It's very like I don't think. It's a hard thing to gauge that, because it's like, I think Adventure 1 is like a genuinely good, like it's a genuinely great game. It's just that at the same time, it's a huge product of its time.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people have genuine issue with Adventure 1. Like, and the more, I used to, but the more I think about it, I'm like, no, this game is really good. I think it can equate most of Adventure 1's flaws to just, the time. I think that's it. Because it's like, yeah, there's some rough physics and shit like that, but it's like, that's what's going to stop you from enjoying this fucking game.
And big, but
yeah, but who cares? Like, Big's fishing sucks, but it's like people who act like, there are still people out there who genuinely act like Big is the worst thing to ever happen to Sonic, and it's like,
it's not that bad. It's just boring.
It's super boring. I don't like Big's fishing.
I don't really have fun.
Goog, I want you to watch Wishful play the Big the Cat levels in Sonic Adventure 1.
Dude, Wishful loves them.
I just wanted to say, one of the big things for me, one of the big things for Sonic Adventure for me is the cutscenes, and I feel like
they're so funny.
They're
so funny.
It's like remaking Mortal Kombat 4 in those cutscenes. It's just like, you don't do that.
Yeah,
that's like one of the biggest things about it.
So fucking funny. Well, it's the same thing. It's like the weird comparison to make, because these are the polar opposites of what gaming as an artistic medium is capable of. Like Silent Hill 2. That remake's gonna fucking be dog shit, because they're gonna redo the entire story and everything. They'll probably keep a lot of the same beats, but they're obviously new James, new voice acting, new writing, right? There's a peculiarness to the way the voice acting and the writing is done in Silent Hill 2, where it's like the dialogue is somewhat like stiff and wooden and a little bit unhinged, but it ultimately ends up working for the narrative, especially in James's case as a main character, because James isn't like supposed to be like a likable person or like a particularly like charming or cool guy. He's kind of a fucking weirdo, and he's very emotionally detached in the story, so the very janky voice acting works very well for him. And like that remake's gonna lose all of the nuance that's gonna come out of those performances, because admittedly, like, Guy C, he's not like I think Gabe's gonna kill me for having this discussion while he's not here, but admittedly, like, Guy C, he's not a very good a very good actor, but
I think
as James Sunderland, he works so well with that character because it's off-putting in the right way. Same with a lot of those characters in Silent Hill 2, but it's like it's a part of that game's character that you take away, and I feel like you lose an entire level of nuance. And Sonic Adventure is kind of that in the opposite way, where it's like there's so much charm that goes from this must be the way to the sky deck.
Something bugging you?
Hey, I'll play with you some other day.
I don't know. What does Anya think? Hanif, what does Anya think? I don't know.
What does Anya think? I think Anya thinks being that to Ichina's...
Shut up! Shut the fuck up! Oh,
Bad Goog.
dude, I realize now, like looking back, like I'm gonna blow my brains out because after I realize, like, oh my god, this is all my fault, like all this Spy Family shit.
I think I should bring this up. I don't like Spy Family. I think it's fine if you like it. I just like me and Ronan. We just entered this rabbit hole.
We have anime brain rot because our Instagram feeds got taken over when Spy Family came out. It blew up, and our Instagram feeds got taken over by shitty Spy Family fan pages. And
I know the part of the
we
show.
ended up like sending each other to like. We ended up sending the posts to each other to like fuck with each other because they're like really annoying, and we would get them and be like, "You fuck you," and it basically got to a point where we got numb to it, and we just kept sending each other, and we basically now just bring it up to try and like get a rise out of each other at this point. It's like an incredibly toxic sense of humor, and I don't really know how to describe it because we just quote like horrible anime garbage that we we in ourselves have no interest in.
It seeped into like I'm scared for Hanif because it seeped into his subconscious, and he's a growing boy. And before we started recording, he was streaming his screen, and one of the tabs he had open was just Anya. It was just the word Anya.
I didn't even realize.
And he was looking through Google images.
It's gonna be revealed that Hanif is like the biggest Spy Family fan on the planet. It is insane to me how like that ended up being the biggest anime ever. Like I cannot think of a seasonal anime outside of like I don't know My Hero or some shit like that ended up getting that big.
Well, I guess My Hero is shonen, so I don't know.
Yeah, but I just mean in general, like it got that like it's huge. Like I thought it was just gonna be like people are still fucking going crazy about it. It's like it's I thought Chainsaw Man was gonna be the one nobody shut up about this year, and to some degree that's true. But it's like between Spy Family and that fucking Cyberpunk show that nobody really expected, like it just stole the thunder. Because we were all gearing up. We were all gearing up because we were like, okay, when Chainsaw Man comes out, this is all people are gonna talk about. But it's like it's out now, and it's like I'm seeing a decent amount of people talk about Chainsaw Man and post like Chainsaw Man memes, and I'm seeing fan accounts and stuff like that. But it's like nowhere near Spy Family.
No,
like
it's nowhere near Spy Family.
Not even anywhere near Cyberpunk. Really, like
I always feel like I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say like I think it's bizarre of all things being a fucking Cyberpunk anime was the one that like became like the everyone talks about it now anime.
So, people at home, I like anime. Like I like what I like. I like some Dragon Ball. I guess that's really about it.
Yeah.
But I'm really like I really get weirded out when like I see like it's no offense to anime fans, but there's certain anime that I see and I'm just like, what is going on here?
Yeah, there's there's a lot of shit where it's like especially stuff that's popular where I'll just see it and I'll be like, dude, I feel weird. I feel like a weirdo watching this.
Like loser bait, like
is that Uzaki-chan shit and like that kind of stuff where it's like it's literally like some loser beta male with no likable traits and he's just got this like giant titted like high school girl following around. Like this is weirdo shit. Like I don't want to watch this.
Like I don't like. There's so many like not to mention like weird anime tropes. Like it's hard for me to get into anime, like when I see like those pedophile things or just like the like 14-year-old girls and it's just like but it's
well
funny.
a lot of it is just like a lot of it is just there for the power fantasy because like that's what people like. That's I think a big thing is like people like when it comes to those kind of shows, people just want like to something to insert themselves into.
True.
But like you gotta.
It's even.
Take it from a grain of salt from me because it's like I'm somebody who got into anime solely because I love giant robots and I think giant robots are fucking awesome and I love Gundam and Getter Robo and I primarily just watch mecha. I don't have a ton. I don't think I'd have a ton of vested interest in anime as a medium outside of the fact that I'm a mecha fan. So I end up knowing a lot about anime as an industry because of how much I know about mecha, right? But it's like I have a few, I grew up with Dragon Ball, so I like Dragon Ball, Lupin. I love a lot of the sci-fi, like Akira and fucking Ghost in the Shell.
How did I forget to mention Lupin when I was?
But
I don't know why
like
I forgot that.
I'm very casual with anime outside of that, so it's like I'll go crazy on the mecha shit, and I'm like a huge mecha freak. But it's like outside of that, anime is like there's a lot of tropes about anime as a medium that just like I don't like, and I don't know. I when it comes to these seasonal anime, I just don't care. Like I don't keep up with new releases unless it's something that I see and I'm like, this genuinely interests me. It's like
unless it's gonna be something
seriously?
fantastic. Like I can't bring myself to like look past those certain tropes and stuff like that.
It's got to be really good. Like I can look past it on certain occasions. And it's like
I was gonna say original Dragon Ball or even Dragon Ball Z does have some deplorable like.
Oh
nasty
yeah, no,
stuff.
but I can kind of like it's the same thing with. Well, I mean, Gundam's not that bad. Like Gundam does it sometimes. Gundam's not that bad with it, but it's like there's nothing like super over the top like creepy in Gundam. It's just a lot of like Tomino being weird sometimes. But it's like, okay, this was written in the 70s. And it's Japanese,
Yeah.
so it's like I can give it a pass. It's like, okay, in the original Getter Robo, like Getter Robo is my favorite manga of all time. There is one part in the very first, like it's in like the first chapter. There's one panel where there's like a horrible ass like Jim Crow depiction of a black dude, and it's like deplorable and awful. And there's never anything like that again in the manga, because the guy, like I think the writer was literally just like, I shouldn't have done that. I think he just didn't know it. Like he didn't quite understand at the time because it was like the fucking 70s. But it's like it's I don't know. Anime just there's a lot of stuff in anime as a medium that just rubs me the wrong way. It's like I just can't. There's some stuff about the culture barrier that I just can't get over because I just don't see it. I don't see it as healthy.
I remember a few years ago there was that fellow Gaijin Goomba. For those at home, you guys know Gaijin Goomba. He's that guy. Yeah, he's that guy who thinks his wife is Uzaki-chan. You can check his Twitter to see that.
Yeah.
But I remember he made a video once. Oh, you don't know about that? Him?
I didn't know about that comparison.
No, but like he
Scary.
has several posts. He's just like, here's why my wife is exactly like Uzaki-chan. They have the same kimono.
So-
It's just like,
that idea to me is so funny because it's like, what can you tell me about Uzaki-chan as a character? Like, I haven't seen the show. I only know what I know about the show from fucking stupid crap I see on the internet about people posting about it.
She got that
and
flesh too.
all I can gain about Uzaki-chan as a character is that she has giant balloon tits and is like, she's only there to like make like awkward like sexual comedy with the main character. Like I can't garner anything else about her as a character.
Yeah, well, let's see what Ministry of Otaku thinks.
Oh,
Ooh.
boo!
You looking for a fight?
It's Naughty Bear. He goes,
Looking for a fight?
boo!
I like that he whimpers at the end.
I do love that he whimpers at the end.
I love that he sounds like Elmer Fudd.
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting minors.
Oh my god.
No!
Wait,
No, Mystery of Otaku said that. not
Dude,
me.
my favorite thing. Okay, I got a sideline. I got to talk about Gundam for a bit. So the only anime I'm watching this season is the new Gundam, because this is the first AU like Gundam. Basically, there's the Universal Century, which is the main timeline that springs from the original show, and then they do AU shows every couple years, which is a new setting with new characters and like a completely like standalone show, basically to get new fans in. And they always every couple years they do one, and it's always usually very different. And there's different themes that reflect the times, and they incorporate different tropes from anime, like where anime as a medium is right there. So you got Gundam Wing in the 90s with like the edgy boy band stuff. You've got Gundam 00 in the 2000s with like the pretty emo boys and like the post 9/11 like kind of discussion going on there. And then you had IBO in the 2010s with like the really gritty like kind of like bloody violence. And the new one is Witch from Mercury. And the main thing about that is it's got a female. The big thing about it is female lead character, and her love interest is a woman, and that's the big one. And that has fucking sent, at least over here in the West,
yeah, it's
some of these fucking
wild.
freaks over the line. That was it for them, because they are watching. Gundam is one of the fucking gayest pieces of media I've ever seen in my life. Char Aznavour is like the most closeted homosexual character ever written, to the point where the man who made Gundam is little like, oh yeah, I should have made him gay. Like, he regrets it. He regrets not making Char gay, basically, bottom line. Because like Char is just he's not a straight man. Like, I can tell you that. It's like Gundam is a very gay series. But it's like you have a bunch of freaks who watch Gundam and just took away none of the sort of messages about like, because obviously Gundam's whole stance is it's like, there's a lot. It's very political, so it's like, oh yeah, the core message of Gundam is like, in war nobody wins. War shouldn't be glorified, or romanticized. And the big thing about Gundam is that the theme is always progressive, because every Gundam show is about a bunch of young people caught in a war, usually being waged by old men who are reluctant to let the world change, and so. The idea is that the views need to be, like, the power needs to be passed on to younger generations, because they have the progressive views, but they don't have, in society, they don't have the power to make those ideals realized. And so the new show is literally just like, okay, logical conclusion is to have actual gay main character who's a lesbian, right? And these fucking guys are losing it on Twitter.
Yes.
And so all of those like lolicon people who are obsessed with that shit are coming out of the woodwork who've never seen Gundam in their life to try and like argue about it. And
Dude, Ministry of Otaku was
the
pissed.
Ministry of Otaku is this fucking guy we found on Twitter who made this video where he was at like an anime convention and he
It's
sees
pretty
this.
famous now,
I
I
think
think.
it's pretty famous, but there's this Tifa cosplayer walking around with a sign that says "Fetishizing lollies equals pedophilia." Pretty straightforward sentence, right? And Ministry of Otaku literally sees this. He pulls out his phone, starts recording. He goes, "Boo! You looking for a fight? Because those are fighting
looking for a
words."
fight with those
And he's
signs?
and
Those are
she's just
fighting
walking
words.
around with it, like she's got like her boyfriend or something with her too, right?
I think so.
She's walking with somebody
Yeah,
else.
she's walking with some big guy. And it's like, dude, what the fuck are you gonna do? But like, people like that literally came out of the woodworks as soon as the show started airing to just bitch and moan about it. And it's so funny because everyone else is just enjoying the show, and these people are trying to like, they're trying to be the most vocal minority of all time, and everybody's just kind of like, nobody cares, you losers.
I also want to point out, why is it only a problem with Gundam does it? Like, you see these weirdo like shows glorify, like, not glorify, but like have like weird scenes of like anime girls and stuff doing like weird lewd stuff. With, like,
Yeah,
that's
well,
what I can't
Well, it's
figure
okay
out.
when they're like underage.
Yeah.
But that's
You
what I can't.
understand that?
That's what I can't figure
it's
out
okay
about
to
it.
them, but
Like, I don't understand. I think the issue, like, I'm trying to genuinely understand. Like the only thing I can think about is these people just don't like gay people. Like, that's the obvious one.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, gay people.
But then they try to pull the same argument that they've been pulling in West. It's a purely, I think it's a purely
Dude.
Western issue when you have that discussion about like quote unquote forced diversity, because it's like
okay, Ronan, I need to talk about something
Okay.
real quick. I need to talk about that tweet that I saw about that Gundam show.
oh
where it's
no.
like, where it was like, don't let the woke liberals ruin another great series with gay people, with like forced diversity and gay people. We already lost stuff like Star Wars and Star Trek.
That is the funniest tweet
That is so
ever.
funny.
That thing is
Trek?
so funny because you know that
Yeah,
guy.
Star
That guy
Trek.
is a white guy living in the States, and he's talking about a fucking anime as if it's decided this, like, he doesn't understand like the international aspect of it. It's like, dude, in Japan they don't really give a shit. Like, they're just doing it because they understand now that that's where shit is going, and they're trying to stay relevant. And it's like, that's that, and everyone understands that. And it's like, okay, it makes sense because Gundam is progressivism.
I was gonna say I like that they mentioned Star Trek like with
Me
like,
too,
they
that was my
didn't have,
favorite.
As
like,
if
the
Star
most
Trek
progressive
isn't the
show
most
of all
progressive
time.
piece
like,
of
one of the most
media.
progressive shows of all time.
As if
like,
Star Trek didn't contribute to the civil rights movement.
or just like, yeah, it had literal like it had like diverse.
It had the
cast where it
first
wasn't okay to
interracial
do
kiss,
that.
and it had like the first depiction of like a black woman, an Asian man, and a Russian dude during the Cold War on like a spaceship, just being normal like officers.
Like, I've never even seen the show and I know this. And it's just like, what do you want?
Like as if MLK didn't literally sit down with what's her name? I would normally her as actress. He didn't literally sit down with her and say, "I need you to keep doing this show." Like that
I
didn't.
don't know.
Yeah, that like. But it's like, yeah, I guess let the liberals ruin it or whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah, I guess
Oh, that's
J.J.
what it
Abrams
was.
ruined it with woke stuff. Yeah.
It was what were we talking about? Gaijin Goomba. Isn't that what we were talking about?
Yeah, we're talking
before?
about Gajin.
Oh yeah, he made this video and it was just basically it was him like, oh, Japanese people don't know no better. They don't mean anything by it when they do these sorts of things. They're just like, why? Why do they not know better? I don't know.
That's
That
a
always
very
rubbed me the-
complicated discussion at that point. I feel like we
Yeah.
get into that. Like we're gonna talk it out of our element to some degree.
Yeah, I don't think I've been the right to say that, but it's just very strange to me that like.
Well, I just think it's fucking weird how you have like people like because inherently this issue is very native. Like the way we're perceiving it with both the Gundam shit is the best example because it's a purely Western thing. The way these guys are turning it into an argument because it's like there's no reason for it to be. It's just that these are just a bunch of fucking white guys who live in the West and they fucking like Gundam because it tickles their military fetish. That's the end of the day. That's what it is for these guys. If they genuinely cared about Gundam's themes and shit, they wouldn't have a problem with this because they'd understand it's fine. But they already have a preconceived notion of what the series is to them, and that's why fandom culture in the West especially is so fucking toxic, is because it ends up being a thing where people have to assert themselves because they let their ego get in the way. So now it's like, I perceive this thing to be this way, I'm right. If you enjoy it this way, you're wrong. And it ends up becoming competitive because like I think there's a big thing I kind of realized is like nerd culture was basically like it was niche for a really long time because it was it was considered shit for nerds, and it only started being mainstream in the last 20 years, and now anybody can come in and enjoy this shit. Like anime is the most popular it's ever been.
Dude,
everybody watches anime now.
And shit, it's the most popular.
Yeah, you got celebrities and like like
oh.
NFL players and shit talking about anime.
It's so popular, in fact, that one time I went to Barnes and Noble. I'm missing volume 4 of Dragon Ball. They have these 3-in-1 volume things, and I'm missing the 4th one. So every so often I go in Barnes and Noble to try and look for it. And I went in there one time, and there was this old Southern gentleman, and he was a working man, and I believe he was with his wife. And his wife was like, "Oh, you should try this one out." He's like, "I don't do that sort of anime." And like, I was eavesdropping, and then like she was standing in front of the Dragon Ball, and I say, "Excuse me," and I look down, and she's not wearing any socks or shoes.
What?
Barefoot in the Barnes and Noble reading Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I was trying. Yeah, she was like,
awesome.
she was picking up Uzaki-chan. She was like, "You should read this one." I was like, "I don't know much about.
I don't fuck with that. I don't know
about
Uzaki-chan.
that there.
And then I said,
That's
"Excuse
so
me," and I
funny.
looked down and I saw she was shoeless, and I had to leave. Like, I don't know what.
I'm sorry. That sounds very scary.
But that's that's what I'm getting at here is like because anime now is at a point where anybody like anime and nerd shit in general is at a point where everyone can enjoy it. There's the group of people who were for a long time completely ostracized for liking that shit, and now they kind of feel like they're on the back end because everyone's into it now. So they're like, well, fuck, what do I like? It's essentially like
Actually,
you had
power
people.
to her. She could be barefoot if she wants.
You had
She
you had
could have her
people.
hogs out.
You had people who basically like weren't cool in normal life, so they were like, oh, if I go and interact with a bunch of fucking Star Wars nerds, I can be cool in front of these guys. And so they thought the way to do that was to assert themselves, and that's how fucking Star Wars as a fandom got so out of control, because you just had pure discourse of people being like, no, I've been a fan since this and this, and Star Wars should be this, and it's like. And so it just turned into a massive discussion where people just turned against each other, and there was no sense of unity to it. And it's like a weirdly competitive thing for being like it's weird to even consider that competitive to begin with, but it's a competitive mindset in what is essentially like you're a fucking Star Wars fan. Like, why does it matter?
I was gonna say, watching Star Wars fans has been the most fascinating experience for me. Like, looking
They're
at
malicious. They're pure evil.
Genuinely, I think like the one Star Wars fan like opinion that I always like discard, and I'm like, all right, your opinion on this means nothing to me, is if they're like, dude, Return of the Jedi is so bad. What a shitty end to a trilogy.
It is ridiculous how like Star Wars like fans are like they're ready to like go on a fucking crusade over this shit.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I like the movies. Like I've seen the originals.
You don't like Rogue One?
I've only seen 6 of them. I've seen the prequels and I've seen the originals, and I like those. I haven't seen the sequels, and
They're
I'm not
dog
caught
shit.
up.
They're dog shit.
Yeah, I know they're bad, so I'm not caught up. And so when I see all these people like, dude, the Mandalorian, like when I see all this discourse online over Star Wars, I'm just like.
It just should have been. I feel like it just should have been a case of like people were just like, okay, these are shit. Let's move on. But no, it turned into like people having to attack each other, and like hurt each other, and like go after people who had nothing to do with like the Kelly Marie Tran shit, where they bullied her off of Twitter. It's like, she's an actress. She gets paid to read this dialogue, not write it.
No wonder John Boyega doesn't want to fucking be Star Wars anymore.
But it's like because he doesn't want to like. That's why I get all these people. It's like they don't want to interact with these dumb fucking nerds. Because like that's ultimately what these people are. It's like they're just dumb nerds who just can't like they can't accept that like fact. It's like that it is like this is not real. Like you don't need to be fucking going after each other. It's like that's why I got my new like I've seen it a lot in the Gundam and Mecha, because it's a fairly niche community, and every time like Witch from Mercury, I'm hoping it brings people into the show because it's a genuinely good getting into point. I've been watching the show. It's on episode 5. I love it so far, and I know a lot of new people are getting into it and they're having a great time with it. And I think that's fantastic. And there's people for some reason who think that's going to be a bad thing. And I'm just at the point where I'm like, okay, my stance in interacting with people who talk about Gundam is like, you can have whatever opinions you want as long as you're willing to be civil about them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you don't like fucking Iron-Blooded Orphans or whatever, like, that's fine. But if you meet somebody who does like Iron-Blooded Orphans and they want to talk about it and whatever the fuck, like that's not your prerogative to get involved.
Now, outside of context, Iron-Blooded Orphans sounds very interesting. Like outside of that being a Gundam show,
It does, doesn't it?
Well, they have iron in their blood.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the original name for Full Metal Alchemist, actually.
Yeah, Iron-Blooded Orphans. You know,
Iron Goog and Orphans.
That's actually what
I
Anya was
actually,
going to be called in the original version.
I actually did want to talk about like I want to contribute more to the anime talk because I want to say because I've been into anime. I remember like growing up I watched like obviously the big three: Bleach, Naruto, and DBZ.
I just got into Bleach.
Yeah, I grew up with Naruto and DBZ a lot, and I want to say like just now I've been like, okay, maybe I'll start watching more stuff, dude. Freaking, I watch Hunter. I put up Hunter for the longest time. And I watched it like for the first time not too long ago. I was like, dude, I fell in love.
It's so good.
I couldn't stop watching
so
it.
good.
It's so good. I was like, man, I love these characters. I was so sad when it fucking ended. I was like, fuck, man.
I don't know why Hunter x Hunter just hasn't clicked for me yet.
think
Like I've watched.
I think if you give it another chance, you'll fucking love it. Man, I fucking love it.
I will at some point.
Ronan, I think it's like it's a certain point, and then it like a neuron goes off in your
I
brain,
think so.
and
There's
you're
just
like, oh,
there's just other shit I want to watch more right now. I think that's the big thing.
Um,
My main thing with anime is like it's not something like I said this earlier, like it's mecha specifically that interests me, right? So it's like the rest of anime is something I enjoy very casually. It's like I just want to learn more about mecha and I want to understand mecha more as something. It's something I'm very personally invested and passionate about.
Ronan puts his hand on like a mecha cover's hand. He goes, "Put your faith in what you most believe."
I think when Ronan goes to like make
Dude, I cannot hear that song anymore without thinking of that Pooh's Adventures video with the Digimon characters where they're in 9/11. Where they're in like 9/11.
That's a horrifying video.
That video is insane to me.
Like I've shown that to real human
Well, what do
beings,
you
and like,
okay, if somebody sat you down and said we're going to watch a video and showed you that, what do you do in that scenario? Like
No,
what
that's what I was experimenting with. Like I showed it to, I believe my younger brother. I was like, "Dude, what do you think of this?" He was
What do you
like,
think of this video?
He was completely baffled.
I knew
He was
about
like,
Pooh's
"Oh my
Adventures when I watched
God."
that video and I had the most baffled fucking reaction. I was like, what is that? What?
Like
What?
when it says 15
Miss
years ago,
Kashiwagi.
like when it said the
Miss
video opens. Okay,
Kashiwagi.
people who don't know. So there's this video, Pooh's Adventure.
We got to explain
Two
what
worlds.
Pooh's Adventures is first. I'll do the lore
Oh,
dump for Pooh's
Lord.
Adventures.
Okay,
I'm
you
gonna do
can make it. Try and condense it.
I'll condense it as much as I can. So, Pooh's Adventures is a series of crossover videos that people make, and it's not one person making these; it's an entire community, and they use the term Pooh's Adventures very loosely, but it essentially implies that they take footage from various cartoons and movies and stuff like that, and they'll usually take one movie and use that as the basis for the storyline. And they'll interject footage of a bunch of other characters. So essentially, there's no really thought put into like it as like a functional crossover.
So-
It'll literally just be the best one is Pooh's Adventures of Lion King. That is the best one in my opinion because it is literally the Lion King, but the fucking Ninja Turtles, the Penguins of Madagascar, the Expendables, the Ghostbusters, the Men in Black, and like like 30 other characters are just there, and Kingdom Hearts and like X-Men characters and shit are just there for no reason.
So like imagine.
And so it'll play the Lion King normally. It'll play the Lion King normally. A scene will be playing out, and then it will randomly cut away from the dialogue to cut to like footage that a person has taken from like Penguins of Madagascar or some shit of like Skipper talking. But because they can't synthesize dialogue, they just take the audio off and they just put text over top of it. So Simba will be talking to Mufasa, and Mufasa will be like, "Everything the light touches is our kingdom," and then fucking Michelangelo will go, "Dude, that's radical." And it has like its own like branching plot lines in the Lion King one with like there's like Van Oz gaming and shit there, and it's like pure
What?
schizophrenia. Like it's so
Wait, I
funny
want you-
because we
Yeah,
were
it's
we were watching it, and I got literally blown away because we just picked a random one to watch and it happened to be that one, and we're watching it, and it's like there's this B plot with the Kingdom Hearts characters where they go to meet like fucking Stinky Pete or some shit like that.
Why him?
They go
And
to
he
meet
battles
Pete.
Colossus.
And they go to meet Pete from Kingdom Hearts 2, and what happens is there's like he's got a bunch of footage from like gangster movies and shit like that. So Pete has like an army and a bunch of like U.S. cavalrymen from like the Lone Ranger movie. So Pete literally like ambushes them with like a bunch of like gangsters with fucking like Tommy guns, and they're about to all get gunned down mercilessly. And like Goofy, Donald, and Sora are like, somebody help us! And then the fucking Expendables burst through the wall in a van and start like mowing people down. And there's like footage of like people getting shot and shit while these Kingdom Hearts characters are just running around. And it's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. But that's basically what Pooh's Adventures is.
I was picturing, like, when you said what it was, I was picturing, like, the Mufasa death scene. It was just, like, reaction.
The Mufasa, when Mufasa dies, it's
it's
so funny because it cuts to, like, 15 different characters, like a bunch of Winnie the Pooh characters and shit like that, just reacting to Mufasa's
Yeah, that's
death.
what I thought.
And it's literally the funniest shit ever. It's so good. That is the best Pooh's Adventures one. That's got to be the best one. Is Pooh's Adventures: The Lion King? Like
the first
dude,
one I ever saw is the one that we're talking about, or not that one, but the one we were originally talking about. And what it is it's this guy, and it was made in 2016. I want to say, no, it was 2016 because it was the 15th anniversary of 9/11. And it starts out, it says 15 years ago, a horrible attack happened on the Twin Towers. And it shows Twin Towers footage, like unedited, of like, we've all seen it. Everyone in the world's seen it. And then it cuts to Digimon characters. It's like, these people have to find their way. And
no, the thing is like the children got separated from their parents, and it's like the whole shtick is that
during 9/11,
the Digimon like characters were like they were at like Ground Zero on September 11th, and they got separated.
Like they got sent to Pooh's world.
They got sent to like Winnie the Pooh world or some shit like that, and they were like fucking around with the Winnie the Pooh characters for like 15 years, and it's a music video set to fucking Two Worlds. From fucking Tarzan, and it's just like the most like you're like what is that? Like it's just jarring. Like it's bizarre. It's baffling. You're like, who made this?
It does start out, and it was just like, oh, okay, like as horrifying and baffling and like weird that is. Like it starts out with Digimon and Winnie the Pooh characters, and you're like, oh, and then it cuts to Darth Vader later on, and like Sora. It's just like, what did they have to do with this?
Sora, man,
It's insane. Like.
Like no, there's some that don't.
If you just look up Pooh's Adventures
like
Two Worlds,
like
it comes up.
Like Bowser.
Yeah, like Bowser's there, and like I think Rosalina's there, and just like they just keep. That's my favorite thing about Pooh's Adventures is they don't care in the slightest about like having an actual narrative of any sort. They just like to throw characters in there. So they just add characters from different things in, and it's so funny just seeing who shows up.
Any sort of cohesion, that fucking thing is fucking.
There's no, because it's all just like autistic people making them essentially. But it's so like entertaining.
Happy. It would be the dumbest joke ever made. Like, it would be the dumbest thing that Adult Swim has ever done. But if Learning with Pibby was just edited like a Pooh's Adventure
that
thing,
would be the funniest shit ever.
Oh, dude, we need to talk about Pibby.
I don't
scared.
think we do.
We already
don't
talked
talk
about
about
that.
No, remember the
Learning
video I
with
found?
Pibby is so much fun.
Things
No,
like
remember
cool and
that
sped
video I
up.
found?
That song's gonna play when I'm fucking stomping Ronan down the street.
And why are you gonna do that?
It's gonna be like black and white slowed down.
Oh, it's gonna be like that Family Guy bit where he goes, "Relax, I'm a doctor."
Anyways, Ronan, I found that video and it was Big Chungus being taken over by the Pibby virus.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Why don't you? Yeah.
It's
That's
scary.
it just dawned in my head like what you just said. Like that's nonsense.
That does literally mean
That is
nothing.
like that's insane to me. Like those words, like I just now clicked in my head. Like what the fuck is wrong with us?
Imagine like going into like
I love
the
that
Netherlands in the 14th
I love that our entire
century.
sense of humor has just been based off of like the insane shit we see on the internet and how we've essentially just learned to desensitize ourselves to it. Now it's just funny. Like it's just funny.
Dude, Dare, the Dare program, it was wrong the whole time. Drugs and alcohol didn't change us forever. Fucking YouTube poops and shit did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
better believe you can.
I
survive.
wouldn't change it for the world though, man. I love YouTube poop.
Mm-hmm.
Dinner.
Oh, how do you?
Yeah.
Can you tell your Rhett and Link joke?
Oh, my hypothetical Rhett and Link.
Oh, like Rhett and Link infected
Yeah.
by the
Okay,
Pibby virus,
all right.
of course.
So,
No.
For viewers watching, this is a genuine question I have, and I want you to think about this for like 3 days. So if you're watching like, okay, so like a Good Mythical Morning in stream, right? Like Rhett and Link, they're like, okay, they're doing their
Good
thing.
Mythical Morning.
He goes, "Good Mythical Morning, little niggas," and then like, the and then like I'm just being serious. Like Rhett gets really angry, and he gets like a chainsaw. And he just cuts Link's head open, and it's like
I love how
it's genuine. Like
every time you do this bit, you describe him being killed in a different manner.
no, like it's fucking head chopped open, right? And it's like it's
the
genuine.
first time.
It's
The
genuine.
first time it was like a gun, and then it was a knife, and now it's a chainsaw.
No,
like every time
it was
you
a
tell
gun, it was a gun, then a machete, and then a
Machete.
hatchet, and now a
Yeah,
chainsaw.
He's a machete. He cuts his head off. It's genuine. Like people are screaming and shit. Like people are like people in the background are like, oh my god, and they're like. Here's my question: do you think that would change YouTube forever? Like, do you think YouTube would be the same?
Today we asked the age-old question: how will this change the face of
He goes,
history?
Let's talk about that.
like Link isn't on it. Red's like, good morning, watch this, and he gets him a shit. Cuts him in half. It's like, oh my god.
I would think it was fake at first. Like,
It's like the bit in Dragon Ball Z where Cell attacks the TV station and he goes out and he broadcasts himself. And he kills everyone after, but that's like.
It's junk. People are like, oh my god, what the hell? They're running and
No,
shit.
dude, that would change YouTube forever.
What'd you do if when he did it, the perfect cell theme, like the Bruce Falconer cell theme, started to play the doo 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 doo.
I generally do think like YouTube
What
would
if he
never
said-
be the same.
And he just stood there and he like Hitchcock stared at the camera for like 5 seconds when they cut the feed.
like YouTube has to put out like apology videos and shit, being like, "Oh my god, we didn't know this."
Does
was
that,
happening."
okay, I have a question. Does it happen live?
Yeah,
I assume
live,
it
no, it's
happens
live,
live.
Yeah, it's a
right?
live
Yeah.
stream.
Yeah, it only
It's a
works
live
if it's
stream.
live.
It's always
And
live.
then Red,
right?
Red like runs off screen as fast as possible. Like he's never like don't fight again.
Yeah, no
He
one
goes
finds
into
me
the-
disappear.
He goes into the
They
woods
fucking
and like
3
he goes
months
off the
later in a
grid.
bunker.
Oh my, dude, YouTube would never be the same. Like you could never watch YouTube again.
I think there'd be
Today we asked
legit-
the age-old
there'd be-
question: how will this change the face of YouTube?
I don't think YouTube would like shut down or anything like that.
No, but
do
I think there would
like,
be real life like legal consequences with that.
like I think we'd get like COPPA too.
I think yeah, all
We'd
the
get, like,
advertisers
stricter,
would pull out. Like people would just be like, "Oh my god, dude."
Like, what if he said that, like, today's episode was sponsored by this crate. And he just, like,
He opens the crate, gets a machete, he goes, "Ooh, Pac-Man." Just
No,
cuts him
after
out.
Yeah, that's a Ray-Ban ad at the bottom.
after he kills him, he goes, he's like panting, he's covered in blood, he's panting, like he's breathing really heavily. He's like,
He
today's
pulls out Raycon earbuds
Episode-
and he's like,
Sponsor-
with the chest
sponsored
cavity.
by Raycon.
Sponsored Raycon.
he goes to his chest cavity, pulls out a pair of Raycon earbuds. Dude, people in the
so
background are
awesome.
like,
That'd
"Oh
be
my
scary.
god, oh my!" There's a
Oh
fucking
my
Zig
God.
screaming.
the police show up, he's already gone.
Oh my god!
Hold on,
Just cut the
Ronan.
feed! Cut the feed now!
Go ahead, go
That's
ahead.
like a horrible idea. Like now, I'm picturing like the video after that would be like a memorial of Link. It's just like 20 minutes of like his best moments.
Before he leaves, he changes.
It's like an Oni Plays compilation, like
Yeah, it's
best of Link.
It owed to Link.
No, before
Like when John
he
Tron
leaves-
left.
It's like a bunch of footage. It's like a bunch of black and white footage of him slowed
Before,
down
before Red like
Yeah.
leaves.
with like
That's
with
what
like
I was-
with like U2 over, not U2, a fucking Boys to Men over it. Like it's so hard to say
Here's my
goodbye.
thing. Before Red like
to
runs away, he changes the channel
yesterday.
to Bad Mythical Morning.
He changes the password. He changes the channel name and the password.
Morning.
Bad Mythical.
And then he changes the profile picture like a bloodstained Link and she's crying.
He changes it to the Mario creepypasta image. It's just like.
Oh my god. I'm gonna get sued. I'm gonna get sued by fucking.
It's really hypothetical.
Imagine,
Dude, this is
imagine,
oh wait, we gotta talk about my fucking Instagram comment because I was about to say this is the hardest I've laughed in like 2
Oh
months.
my
But
god.
Wait,
Dude.
wait, before we get off that, oh, never mind. I forgot what I was gonna say.
no.
You can go ahead.
Destroy
You can
Goog. Alright.
Oh, I need a breather.
Go
Hold on,
ahead,
that
Ronan.
was too funny.
Bad Mythical Morning is really good.
Bad Mythical Morning.
Mythical Morning.
That's so good. This is a good episode so far.
Takes over
I
the
could feel
channel
it before we got on. I was
completely.
like, this episode's gonna be really good.
He just keeps like uploading videos of him cutting people open.
Our top stories. Red is still on the fucking warpath.
Will it bleed? That's the question. Will it bleed?
Let's talk about that. It's like they have him tied up. and he
Today
has
we
to
asked the
make himself
age-old
talk about
question: who is safe? Who is next?
What's next? He's like pinned pictures of like YouTubers on his
he
wall.
says that he
he's
says
got a
that as
little-
he's like recording on his phone. He's recording some unsuspecting
like-
person from like a
It's
park bench or
it's
some
like a
shit.
found footage video of him just walking around like, who's that? Was next?
I was imagining like him in like a makeshift studio, like in a metal cabin in the woods with like a wheel behind him with a bunch of names on it. He's like, "Who's next? Let's fucking
Yeah, let's spin the wheel of
Bad
mythicality.
mythical morning.
Wheel of morality or mortality.
Wait, hold on. I was gonna say that's what I was gonna say earlier. Can you imagine waking up? Because like Good
my
Mythical
God.
Morning, the thing is, it's perfect for like waking up at 6 a.m. and you play it in the background. Can you imagine that happening at 6 a.m. before you go
That
to
would be
school or work?
that you would just feel the adrenaline like rush into your body
Like,
as
I feel
that
like that'd be
happens.
worse than like War of the Worlds, like when people were freaking out when that was being read. Like that.
yeah, that would
cause
change. That would
mass
change the
hysteria.
actual Earth.
That'd be
I
real
think.
though. That would.
That would go beyond YouTube. I feel.
Oh, that is so fucking funny. Oh my god.
Or Ronan, you want to talk about the?
Okay, let's talk about that
Instagram
comment. Holy shit, I need a fucking minute. That was too much. Okay, the most insane shit ever happens this week. I think I've laughed the hardest in my life because Joey Dig Dong Fan 53 posted a video. He posted like a 5-second snippet of the Mariah Carey Dream Lovers video. Obviously, I think we can all kind of gain why he would post that because, you know, sick animations. Sucking on Raffy's toes. So everyone in the comments is making sick animation jokes, and I made a comment that literally just said, like, I didn't even say the full thing. I just commented on Raffy's toes, and Instagram made an Instagram made a translation for that post automatically, and I shit you not, the button for the translating the post doesn't show up on mobile from what I've gathered. You guys don't see it, right, when you look on mobile?
No, I
No, I
did.
didn't.
I did.
It didn't
Oh, no,
show up
I
for me.
did.
It didn't show up for me. So I woke up the next day and it was like 8 a.m. and I checked Ham's group chat. And I look and I see a video that one of Ham's friends Crab posts, and it's a video of my comment, and there's a translate button next to it, and it's him pushing it, and it translates, and the comment turns from sucking on Raffy's toes to fucking we're raping each other!
It's a,
exclamation
I don't
point.
understand why it does it. So
And
weird.
I thought I saw that and I was so confused because it got posted at 2 a.m. It's like, okay, they must have been up on Discord last night. There must have been some bit, and that was an edit he made to fuck with me, right? And I was laughing about it because I thought he was just screwing with me, and I was like, what spurred this on? And I was talking about it in the cartel later that day, and Ham goes, no, dude, that's real. And I'm like, what? And he said, yeah, that's real. And I'm like, you're fucking with me. And I go to the post. There's still no translate button there. So I just offhandedly tap on the right of the comment, and it translates it. And I was fucking flabbergasted because I'm like, you can't choose that. That's something Instagram codes in there. That's a
Yeah, it
feature that's done
automatically
natively
does
through
that.
Instagram. They decided to see that statement and translate it. And the fucked up thing is, Hanif wrote the same comment and they typed the exact same thing on the same post, and it still translates to fucking that.
I don't know what happened.
Like,
What language did
is
the
it?
What
translate
language
from?
is it picking? Why? Like, I just want to know why. The translate button didn't
I
even
love that
show
it's
up for
like
me.
some
I
Instagram
literally had
ad
tears
thing.
streaking down my face when I saw that was real. I laughed so hard because I was like, how is that even possible?
I love how it's perfect grammar too.
I don't
It has an
understand.
exclamation mark. It's awesome.
Yes, exclamation point at the end, and it said that. And so it's just this fucking clip of this. It's just a comment, and there's just a random translation for it to that of all things. And I just was like, why? Oh my god, that's like the
It was
funniest thing
wonderful.
ever.
Yeah, but like, will it
Dream
burrito?
lovers
I think we need to
gone.
talk about that.
Breathe?
I thought everyone was fucking. I thought
Will it breathe if
everyone.
it's submerged underwater.
I thought everyone was fucking with me.
Dude, it was so much funnier when you found out that it was real.
Because I thought you were. There's no. Okay, when I go to look at that on the post, there's no translate button. There's not one anywhere.
Yeah, I know. I said on mine, there's like 2 microscopic little.
That's
like,
not even.
dots
Yeah, there's not
to
even the dots
translate
aren't
it.
even there for me. There's nothing. I have to tap on the empty part of the screen where the comment is to get that.
But it still translates it. It's
I can't.
like
I just
scary.
couldn't
It's, like,
believe that was
evil.
real because it's like, well, what brought that on to say that?
I have no, dude. I don't know. How
Because
to
only
explain
Instagram like that's not a feature. You can't natively code in a translation from what I understand. That's something Instagram has to do on its own. So the algorithm somehow sees that statement and thinks it means that. And it's perfect. It's a perfect not even translation because I don't. It's not translating it from any language because that comments in English.
Word.
It just morphs it into a completely different like statement, and it's fucking that of all things.
That was the craziest shit ever.
We're insulting each other.
I wanted a call when I saw that because Crab sent it into the.
I had
chat.
never been in more disbelief in my life. I genuinely thought you guys were fucking with me.
I forgot who it was. It was me and Gabe, and it was super late at night. It was me, Gabe, and Joey. So, and then I was streaming something. I was like, wait, guys. And I pulled it up and played it, and they were losing their fucking minds. Like,
dude, I was
like,
8 in the morning when I saw the
insanity.
video, like the video Crab had made of the comment, and I thought he was fucking with me, and I was like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life, because I was just like, what brought this on last night? And I was getting up to go walk the dog, and I was getting Walter ready, and I was just laughing with like tears streaking down my face the entire time. I was like, what are you watching? Like, what's so funny? I'm like,
it's one of those things you cannot even explain it.
And I didn't know how to explain it, and then when I found out it was real, it was like my whole, like, I felt everything like shatter around me. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I just was like crying. Like, there were actual tears streaming down my face. It was so funny.
Yeah, dude,
that took the piss
so
out of me.
funny.
That took the piss out of me for like 3 days. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like, I don't think I've ever been as shocked by anything in my life, but it was so fucking funny because it's just like, in like, what are the odds of that? Because it's like, if you comment that, and he said the exact same thing after the test, and it still translated it, which means something about that statement typed out that specific way produces that translation. We're something each other. And something on Rappy's toes.
No, that Earl.
And
Earl,
something
why
on
don't you come
Earl's
take a seat? Why don't
toes.
you
Dude,
come
we
take a
do
seat,
not
Earl?
talk about Earl.
We don't talk about Earl. We can talk about Kamoshida. We can't talk about Earl.
That is a
Alright.
shame though, because the.
Okay, we can't talk about the
the
Earl.
Earl
We can't
to
talk about
catch
the
a-
Earl. The Earl to catch a predator bit is so funny. I don't think we can talk about it. We can talk about the nasty Gnorg one,
What
right?
is a nasty Gnori?
We were talking about me and Joey and Gabe were talking about fucking Spyro, and I think Hadi was there too, right? We were talking about like the beginning of Spyro, where like the guy in the interview, he's like, "What about Gnasty Gnorg?" We were like, "Do you imagine if Chris Hansen came in and he's like Gnasty Gnorg, I take it." What about Gnasty Gnorg? And what can you tell us about you came here to meet a
what are
16-year-old
you
girl?
doing
And what are you
here?
doing here, Gnasty Gnorg? I didn't do nothing. That Earl to catch a predator bit is like the funniest thing
Dude,
ever.
the funniest bit. The
So
funniest bit is
funny.
Toe Jam driving.
He's like,
through
oh,
and
Jam's
getting
in the car. Jam's in the car. I was like, I didn't know.
He's like, oh my
I think the funniest, that's like the funniest thing you've ever said. I think the best part of that scenario, like that hypothetical scenario, is the visual of Earl getting caught and putting on the rocket boots and feeling like you'll never catch me and just leaving. And Chris Hansen can't catch him.
And then they get Toe Jam, and he's like,
And the cops take Toe Jam out of the car and like pin him down against the side of the car. He's like, I didn't know. I didn't know. Why is To Catch a Predator literally like the funniest show ever?
oh my god, that just reminded me of something, Ronan. I don't know if you'll remember this bit, but it was one night when we were doing stupid ass fan casts, right?
I'm probably not gonna, because every time you guys start doing those fan casts, like, you literally make my brain melt.
No, it was a Fantastic Four one.
Mm.
And I was like, I wonder who'd be a good Galactus. And I was like, oh, I got one. Chris Hansen. And then it just gave me like the image of Chris Hansen as Galactus, like
Why don't you
he's
poke
still
me to
doing the
sleep?
To Catch a Predator
And what can
stuff.
you
but he's
tell me
like,
about that little box, Reed Richards? And what can you tell me about that?
but he's just a giant man. Like he like they go to the sting operation house, they look outside, and they hear this big booming voice.
That-
like, so what are you doing here? They see a big
Wait,
finger
what is
poking
that,
out of the sky.
That night where we were doing the SBC fan cast and you just kept going, like you genuinely like mentally broke me. Like, I was broken. Like, I was a broken human being, and you just kept going. You wouldn't stop, and it was frying my brain. And you got to the point where you were just putting like bullshit characters on the like Mammoth Mogul, and you were like, dude, I want fucking God, who did you put
Bob
there?
Odenkirk is Frank
It's like
West.
Yeah, Bob Odenkirk is Frank West. You just started adding random characters to it. I was like, Ham, stop! And I was really upset. I think the most mad I got from that was when you guys were talking about like Sonic Heroes teams, and you kept making more. And Chris joined in, and Chris was like fucking the entire country of France. And then I was like, that's enough! No more teams.
Oh my god! Do you want to name off
Should we
some
talk
of your
about that Sonic
favorites of the
Heroes thing?
SBC fan cast?
The Sonic.
We talked about. Wait, you talked about the comments?
Okay.
Dude, we've
Yeah,
talked
we
about that
talked about
before.
that, yeah.
We talked about that
Yeah, we
before.
talked about that before. But I wanted to talk. Does anyone know the Marvel comics in here? Is anyone? Like, out of you-
Ham does.
Yeah.
I know a little bit.
Ham. What is the deal with Marvel Ruins? It sounds really bad.
Oh, is that the one where it's like the worst timeline where like Spider-Man dies of cancer?
Yeah, it's just like
Dude,
overly edgy.
dude,
and
that
Me,
one
me and
sucks.
Ham,
That
me and Ham were
sucks.
laughing about that one because it's like this it goes out of its way to be as
nothing.
deplorably like just fucking depressing as possible,
just
and it's
shocking.
so
Like, it's
fucking
not
funny.
fun. Like, there's
It's so
nothing
fucking
interesting.
funny because it's like if you're reading a story synopsis, it's like Nick Fury turns to Jean Grey and shoots her in the head or some shit like
And
that.
also,
That literally
Jean Grey's a
happens, and
prostitute.
Yeah, and he kills himself after that. And it's just like Logan wants a beer, and then he gets killed because he has a bone disease. It's just like who
It's just like
cares?
I love the funniest part of it is like that. It's like Spider-Man just like fucking rolls around in toxic waste and gets cancer or some shit like or lymphoma.
No,
or some shit
I
like
love
that.
the bit where it's like Silver Surfer shows up and he tears his intestines out. It's like okay, and nothing prompted that. Okay,
No, that's
All right.
the one
It's
thing that
so
like
fucking
at
funny.
first I was like, okay, this is interesting. Where is this going? And then I saw like there was one part where it was like a newspaper article that said God is dead.
That
in
is the
space,
funniest
and it
part
showed
because
Galactus.
in that story, Galactus's corpse just sort of drifts over towards Earth and he's just dead, and everyone's like, "What?"
Yeah, and that's
Okay,
the point where I was
dude,
just like, this is stupid.
this makes so much sense. You know who wrote it?
Who?
Hold on, Warren Ellis. I was thinking Garth Ennis. My
Oh,
bad.
I was gonna say if it was Garth Ennis, that would be too perfect. Garth Ennis sucks. He's a shit writer.
Yeah, he's terrible. Sorry, it's a different guy. I thought it
He
was
sounds
Mark
like
Ennis.
That
a Star
Marvel-
Wars
that
character,
Marvel
Garth
ruins-
Ennis.
That Marvel Ruins shit is so funny though. Me and Ham spent an entire night laughing at because it's trying so hard to be as bleak and as dark as it can, and it's just like it's to
Yeah,
the
we
point
were-
of like it feels comedic because it's like
There's no point to
it's
it.
so oppressive. It's like there's no point to this. Like what it doesn't even feel depressing because it's so unbelievable. It feels comedic.
Oh, all
Yeah,
the
we were-
mutants
we
are
were
in
just-
internment camps. Oh, great. Oh, no.
we were just
Like, it just gets
pulling up
worse.
like character bios of the people in it.
It's
and
so
just laughing.
fucking- dude. Nick Fury like soliciting sex from Jean Grey and then shooting her in the head is like the funniest thing ever to me. It's like why? It just there's no reason given for why it's like that. It just is. Doesn't Captain
And then,
America
like, it
doesn't
literally
Captain
means
America
nothing
join like the
because-
Nazi party or some shit like that?
Yeah, like he
Yeah.
dies. He becomes a serial killer. And it ends with the main character. He's just like, oh, Spider-Man gave me his illness, and now I'm going to die.
he got like super cancer from Spider-Man or some shit and he died.
And it was just like, okay, cool. Like, so none of this mattered, and you showed me none of the like.
It was
I
like
guess
what
it's-
what was the point? Like I think it's the
I guess
biggest
the
thing.
art is neat, sort of. Like it looks nice.
I like
That's
I kind of
really
like
it.
the premise of it being like the instance where it's like, oh, this is the worst timeline, and the main character is like literally suspecting like something is wrong with their reality.
Mhm.
But it's like there's no point to it at the end of the day. It's just
Yeah,
it's
there's
just
just no
pure
point.
shock value, and it's like, what is this?
There's no point
accomplishing?
besides the fact that it's just like, okay, this is the worst timeline, but it's not even a believable worst timeline. It's
No.
just like, it's just like, oh.
it's just edgy.
The best way to
bad
do
things
darkest
happen.
timeline story is still Community.
Oh, Jean Grey is twerking off, doing a
Jean
twerk
Grey
off of
twerking
Nick
on
Fury.
fucking Nick Fury, yeah.
And he goes, "Oh my god, this is
Oh
so
my
good. I'm gonna-
god! And he
this
shoots
is
her in the
so
back of the
good.
head.
Yeah, he goes, "This is so good, I could die." Wait a minute. And he
Wait a
kills
minute.
himself.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Damn.
Do you guys want to say some of your favorite fan casts for the SBC?
Yeah, Michael J. White as Thomas.
Michael
I don't
Jai White
remember
as Thomas
any
is
of
the
them.
best one. Like what?
Wait,
Dude,
hold on.
that was my stroke of brilliance when I was like, okay, here's what you're gonna do. Okay, for Thomas, Michael Jai
John
White.
Jafari as Goog is good
so
too.
the big
Wasn't
the
that-
idea of this big fucking. That's a good
No,
one,
I think
yeah.
I was Tyler the Creator for some reason.
I
Like,
know
I-
you were.
I don't
Oh,
see it.
Wishful was the completionist.
I just love the idea
Okay,
of
that
Thomas
one
being
makes
played by
sense.
like a big fucking buff MMA fighter. Like it's so funny.
Like his
Oh my
voice, like they did the
God.
thing where like his
Yes!
voice still comes out of him.
The completion showed up. He went yes.
I want to see the completionist and Wishful do a crossover. That'd be funny.
That'd be cool. It'd be like
Mr. H was Michael Clark Duncan. I think that was a good one.
Really?
Yeah, Joey was Vince Vaughn, and Ronan was Hugh Laurie.
Oh yeah, that's right. I like that.
Wishful, no, not Wishful. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Hanif, if you were the completionist, you'd go, and that's why
It's
Spy X
completed.
Family
Dude, I love how the
keeps
completionist just
bringing
loves
up
watching you like.
Why would it be on the 3DS?
Hey, everybody
I don't know, he
watching.
didn't activate
My head
beard
canon is
mode.
the
I don't
completionist.
know.
Like,
Why-
he fucking loves watching his wife get fucked by other men. Like, he fucking loves it. He goes,
Oh
yes!
my god.
That was like the most. That was the most mean-spirited bit ever because it's like the completion.
I don't know, dude.
Nothing
No,
wrong.
no,
Some
no,
Call
no.
Me
The
Johnny
idea-
one is
Johnny.
way more mean.
Some Call Me
Some Call Me
Johnny.
Johnny's way
I love
worse.
that,
Never
but I
mind. The Some
love
Call Me
that.
Johnny
I
one is
love
so
that.
unfucking warranted.
You
I
need to
like
make
Some
an
Call Me
apology-
Johnny.
you
I
need to
just
make an
like I don't know
apology
why
for
that
Stupid
bit is a
Warner.
thing. But like the completionist one is so funny because like we were just randomly talking. It was either you or Joey was like fucking dude. The completionist probably like he likes watching other men have sex with his wife. It's like what prompted that? It was just the idea that kept spiraling out of control. Like there, he like walks in on another man sleeping with his wife. He goes, yes.
He activates beard
Yeah.
mode.
And then he goes, I give my
Weird
wife a
mode.
rating of completer.
It was because
God.
who was it who was interviewing the completionist? Who was like,
Oh, yeah, I
other men,
think it was- who
complete
was
on
that?
you? Like, are you saying that?
Oh, you mean complete like cum?
You
Like
complete
cum,
like
dude?
Tom.
That horrible man. That horrible man goes, but Beardman. What is that guy's name? Greg
Awesome.
Wilmot or something? Or some.
Dude, when I
You guys
saw that,
remember that guy?
You're in need of name dropping another like piece of shit like fucking garbage cartoon reviewer this episode.
No, no. That's the guy. That's the completionist. That's the completionist's friend in the old videos. And he used to interject. He was like, "What,
dude, guys, whatever you do, don't look up the
Don't-
original.
don't
the
look at
original
what he
first
says about
completionist video. Don't look up what he
completing
says.
video
in the
No, you
intro.
can't."
He
Yeah,
does
don't
he does
ask-
something to
Don't
games.
ask him what a completionist means.
Yeah, don't. What does he do to them?
Phantom Strider top 10 like lost videos.
Ah.
Number 1, the completionist.
The completionist video.
Phantom Strider is so funny. Do you remember? I don't think I can say this on the podcast. Remember, like the top 10 worst. Okay, are you
We
sure
can
you
bleep
put
it
that
out if it's bad.
It was like the top 10.
Yeah, I'll cut it out. I'll cut it out.
The top worst niggas in history. And he goes, he goes, Malcolm.
Yeah, that's what it was. He was like, wait, yeah, he was like, the top wars in history. Malcolm X.
What's the one video that Jordings made? It was the video Jordings made, right?
Planet Dolan. Danger Dolan.
He's a Danger
Top 10
Dolan.
niggas in history.
Planet Dolan.
Oh my god.
okay,
It's so funny, but they could not.
I want you to.
I can't stay it. Okay, what were we talking about right before? Okay.
Just keep the part where he says Malcolm X.
Come back, saw.
I'm
keeping
poor,
that
this
in.
man.
Oh my god.
We've been going for an hour and 30
Alright.
minutes. You want to wrap this up soon?
Goog, I have something to ask you.
Yeah.
I think this is a good topic for you, my friend.
Okay. Yeah.
Explain Goog Fest.
Explain Googfest. That was out of my control. What do you? Okay, so sometimes, what'll happen is I'll turn off my phone for 5 minutes. It's like that one SCP when if you're not looking at it, it gets closer and snaps your neck. That's what the SBC is sometimes. And so I turned off my phone one time. And this isn't what the Googfest, but I turned off my phone and I come back and everyone in the SBC has my profile picture changed their name to Goog. I was like, and then when I asked what was going on, they didn't say anything. I was like, I don't know, it's kind of cool. And
I like that you say that like we didn't do that 3 times.
like
We did that to
I'm gonna
Roast
get to
Fella,
that. Like
too.
it happened multiple times, but then it like one time. I looked away for 5 minutes and Ham tags me in a post and it says it's coming and I look and it says Googfest and it's in a few weeks. And so like he has this post loaded out and he's just like, okay, it's coming up. It's like tomorrow. Be there or be square. And so I was just like, I have no control over this. I guess I'm celebrating Googfest now. And so I made the best of the situation. and we had a Goog Fest. I had it on my story, and a bunch of people made posts. And Dean made a really funny one. And it's just like those the little kids going around a pole, but it had my icon's head on it. And put it in the episode right here, but it's really funny. But I actually was looking at it today. I was just like, because I lost a few followers, and it was just like, what could I possibly have done to do that? I was looking at the worst day I possibly could have had, or like the worst day I had for unfollows, and it was Goog Fest. Like, people really got mad for some reason.
Well, that's their fault. That's nothing. That's nothing on you, man.
Yeah.
I think the funniest thing about that was like,
fun.
it's basically a rite of passage at this point in the cartel to have your like to basically like have either Joey or somebody else like copy you and like pretend to be you. It's happened to me. Joey's stolen my profile picture
Happened to
several
me,
times.
too.
It's happened to Ham. I stole Ham's profile picture and name. Joey did it too. It's happened with Goog. It's happened with Rosefellow. I think it's happened with Hanif, definitely. But it's basically a rite of passage at this point, where it's happened to almost everyone in the cartel. It's like you give your name and identity stolen for like a day by Joey or me or somebody like that. And
I love that we were all like collectively, we're all gonna do this.
because Goog's profile picture is so fucking funny. But the funniest part about the Goog Fest was on the day of, we all just made like shitty edits of it. We had like dark Goog and light Goog.
I forgot about that part.
And I basically just drew over like top of Goog's profile picture, and I gave him like glowing blue eyes and shit like that.
I
And then
did,
made, like,
the
evil
dark
Goog.
Goog one.
Yeah.
I
was
pulled it up
light
in MS Paint and fucking drew scary
drew
eyes
like
on
evil
it.
scary eyes on it and made it red, and it was like dark Goog, and I made light Goog.
Something
and we had,
about that
the edit of the
profile
Sonic
picture.
Adventure 2 story select, where it's like hero dark.
That was really good.
That's
Ham's video
awesome.
about why I should deserve a Goog Fest is really good. That one's,
I like
love
that
video.
one.
It's
I
a
would
great
say to
video.
put that in, but it has music that would get like strong.
Yeah, it has the Far Side in it. They have like an actual YouTube channel, which just surprised me.
Hey, I just realized I forgot to record a master track for this episode, so I hope all of our audio is really good.
Okay, you might have to cut some stuff out. I was playing with an eraser a little bit, like I was flipping it.
Wait,
you were
like
flicking your
like
eraser?
Sonic,
Oh, Sonic Eraser. I think it is. I have listened to the Sonic Eraser music an unhealthy amount. It's genuinely
Don't
horrible.
make
It's
that
genuinely
noise.
like
No one
it's genuinely the worst
understands.
things I've ever heard, and it just fascinates me. Like I'm just like, how is this possible? Like, how did anybody make
There
this?
was.
Hanif, I heard that.
Yeah,
I heard that Doodle Bob boy.
Yeah, we're not telling that story.
Here,
Don't give
leave
the satisfaction. We're not telling that
Gives
story.
the best head, and everybody knows it. It's true.
No.
Oh my
Evil.
God.
It's true.
It's awesome.
Little Bob and Bubble Bass.
Something about.
He goes, still no seeming. As him sucking. Still
I mean, you-
Still no pickle.
I mean, you. I mean,
He pulls out his tongue. He looks under his tongue. It's like, here it
Yeah,
is. He's
yeah,
giving the
dude.
cum under his tongue.
Look, man. All right. The final thing on that, Mr. Krabs was a top contender just because of that scene where he ate that pill.
That's
You know,
true.
you know.
That's true. That scene is so funny. I think my favorite SpongeBob bit right now is the one with the fucking bit from Krabby Mondays with the human resources guy,
That one is good.
where he's like, Squidward, do you remember the Krabby Mondays motto? It's like, servers with a smile, and he's like, or do you need to speak with human resources? And it's just like some scary like buff guy in the fucking closet, and he comes out and he like intimidates Squidward, and then he backs away to the shadows. It's so fucking funny.
I don't care. Like, I do like those later, like season 4.
That
and 5 and stuff like
season
that. Like,
4
I don't
has
get it.
season 4 and 5 have a handful of episodes that are as good as like anything from season 2 or 3.
Like, I don't understand. Like, I kind of get, like, I get the hate because it was like.
They're inferior. Like there's no doubt
they're
about it. They
different. Yeah,
are
they're not as
inferior.
good, but like.
But like the episodes in those seasons that are good are really fucking good. Like, dude, the Krabby Mondays is like fantastic. Like that's probably a top 10 episode for me. I would also say the same thing about the fucking Fisto Pain episode with the mitten. Like that the mitten
Yeah.
bit is like the funniest shit ever, where they're going over the baby roller coaster and they're
Oh.
screaming, "Wow!"
I just can't.
Doodle
stand,
Bob
like,
and the Bully are also up there.
I can't stand.
Those are
like,
those are
newer,
season 3 though, right?
Oh yeah,
I think
that's 2 and
so.
3, I think.
Yeah.
But dude, the
I just-
Bully is such a funny.
The
fucking
bully might be
episode.
the bully's top 3 for me. I think it's like it's
It is so.
the
Funny.
bully is so. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me. I'm gonna think about that when I'm kicking your butt.
And remember,
I just
Flats is
can't-
pretty high up there too.
Yeah.
He's up there with Mr. Krabs and like Bubble Baths and Doodle Bomb.
I love the bit where he's like, "You're Flats' dad, right?" Dad, what did I
Dad,
tell you
what
about
did I-
talking to strangers? Now he's gonna kick my butt. So fucking funny.
I love it so much.
funny. SpongeBob is genuinely one of the funniest shows. Like going back, it's like one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. When we were watching the Sponge Who Could Fly, we were watching the Patty bit from that. Is so the Patchy bit, like where Patchy the pirate's like, I'm gonna throw away all my SpongeBob stuff. Is so funny.
Dude, those fucking background fish are so goddamn mean.
They're
for
evil.
No reason.
They're just malicious.
Hey boy, you frog.
The only
Sugar
cool one. There's only one cool one I can think of, and it's the
It is something
guy.
The
marshmallow
fish is the
guy.
goat.
Mhm.
He's the goat.
He's awesome. He would die. We always say this, but dude, he would die in the trenches for you. Like if you were in the trenches with him and like the battlefields of like France in like the First World War, like, and he would take a bullet for you.
Goog, remember the barbecue like bracket fight?
Yeah, that was the same night as the SpongeBob.
The marshmallow fish came pretty high up there, just because
Yeah,
you
he
know
came
he
in
was pulling
clutch.
through with food and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he goes,
Mhm.
You go, mm-hmm.
that like
Yeah.
cum stained fish is like. Mhm.
Yeah.
He'd have his
Yeah,
own
that
like
wasn't even
fire
marshmallow.
pit.
I love that bit, and it's from a recent. It's from a newer episode, but it's fairly old now, where it's like Plankton is fucking roasting those background fish. And he's like making fun of like the little kid.
Wait,
and
dude,
the
that
dad and the
bit is
mom and the
really
grandma, and
mean
he's
for
like-
some reason.
The grandma's like, you can't talk about my son. You can't talk about my son that way. And he's like, someone
She's
will
like-
throw you in the
she's-
box
and
floating
she's like,
down the
"You're
river. And it's like,
probably
what the
right." She's like,
fuck?
"Oh my god."
To be fair, with the exception of maybe her, like all of those other fish were being dicks. So
Dude, that bluefish has some bad shit coming.
that bluefish is he got some bad karma lined up, man.
He's cool. I don't know.
Hey pal, you just blow on
Are the new
stupid town.
episodes of SpongeBob good? Like, are they like? I haven't seen
No.
any of them.
I don't know. I don't care.
And what I've seen is just like really like weird slapstick stuff. Like
It's
it
weird
doesn't
because
seem like
every time I
sensual
see a
at
clip
all.
from modern SpongeBob pop up, it's some
just
bit that the
gross out
animators
shit.
put way
It's
too.
like-
It's a bit that the animators put way too much effort in because they're trying to make a meme essentially. Like they're trying to get something that people will post as a meme, like as an image,
Mhm.
like a react.
Yeah.
Like you'll see a new clip from SpongeBob, and it'll be SpongeBob making like 4 different faces, each of which is obviously supposed to be a reaction image. And it's like that inherently defeats the purpose of like the comedy. It's like it's weird to put my finger on it, but the comedy in the original like couple
It
seasons
was
of
never
SpongeBob,
like.
it's funny because it's like there's reactions to it, but it's like it's so like back and forth, like opposite ends of the spectrum, where you go from like Squidward to SpongeBob, who are like polar opposites in terms of how they deal or react to stuff.
I don't know if this makes any sense at all, but like older SpongeBob episodes don't feel loud or like noisy.
No, they're not.
But,
They
like, the
are
newer ones just feel
very
like-
very sparingly, but like the best thing, like the best parts of SpongeBob are the bits where it's just like normal.
Yeah, like
It's like normal
that's
reaction.
the funny. Yeah, it's just
It's like the Bubble Buddy episode when SpongeBob goes, "My friend's in there," and the fish goes, "Congratulations."
It's like the funniest shit ever. Because like that's the most like that's like the only real reaction you can give in that scenario. It's like if somebody told you that, you'd be like, okay. Congratulations.
Oh my god! I just remembered something. I got a good story. I think now.
Mhm.
Holy shit! Do you guys want to hear the story? Of how Little
Yes.
Ham Wallet found
Well, you
out
told me
what
it was Shifty
vagina
Eyed Dog
was?
from Simpsons.
What?
He told you what it was.
The shifty-eyed
Yeah, you
dog.
whispered to me. Yeah. No, I was watching Austin Powers Gold Member,
behave.
right?
Uh-oh.
Oh.
When I was like
Oh
8.
no!
And it was the end bit where they're watching like the Tom Cruise like the remake of the movie that just happened, and then they're all in the theater and Fat Bastard comes down and he lost all the weight, and he goes, I lost all the weight, and I got all this loose skin now though, and my neck looks like a vagina. I was like, whoa, what is that?
What does that mean? What
I
does
was
that
like, what does that mean? And then went on like the family
That's
laptop
cool,
and
that's
like looked it up, and I was like, oh,
God,
Like
yes!
the wind blew back your hair. You're like, whoa.
I was like, what? It's like Star-Lord and Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
What? And he said, "Did all women have these? What is going on? Mom, help!
Help me, I'm scared.
Help!"
I love the idea of him. It's like that bit in Family Guy where Stewie finds the Hustler magazine, he opens it up and he sees the vagina and he starts screaming.
He shoots it with a machine gun.
He shoots it with the magazine with the machine gun. Yeah, it's like that. That's him. Dude, I relapsed on Family Guy. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's insane how much like Family Guy I'm watching right now.
In this episode.
Because genuinely, I used to watch Family Guy all the time. Like, it was my secret hyperfixation where it's like I would watch it as a kid because it's like you watch Family Guy with your kid because you think it's the funniest shit ever. You get a little older, you're like, okay, some of these jokes fucking blow ass and are like the laziest shit known to man. But I've just found like a weird comfort in it, because it's something I used to watch when I'm younger. I think the first couple seasons, like first 6 or so seasons, are genuinely funny. And then it just spirals off. But it's like, you can enjoy modern Family Guy, even though it's like the worst show ever, if you watch it exclusively on YouTube as funny moments compilations. Like, you can enjoy modern Family Guy, because it just gets to a point where it's like there's no coherence, and eventually something gets thrown up on screen that's either so stupid that you just laugh at it because you're like, this is just the laziest shit I've ever seen, or it gets to a point where like something they make a genuinely good joke. Like, it's one of those two things.
Like, you were cackling over the fact that Palpatine was just in a shot for like
we were
2
watching
minutes
the
and they
fucking
just get
Halloween
rid of him.
episode, and there's an entire sequence where there's like an evil hologram Peter, and Peter ends up fighting the hologram Peter, and there's a bit where Stewie's like, okay, we need to like create like a static current to like overload the hologram. Can anyone here like generate lightning? And Palpatine's just sitting in the fucking living room, and he's like, I can. And then he's just there, and he's like, but I'm not going to. I have to be angry to do it. And then there's a bit later on in the same scene where Stewie and Brian start arguing, and it cuts back to Palpatine. He's still there, and he's just sitting there the entire sequence. They just cut back to him every now and then, and he says something, and it's like, the joke was so funny to me because normally that would just be like a one and done line, but it's like, no, they just keep, like, that implies in the scene that the Emperor Palpatine was just sitting in the room the entire time while this sequence was happening for no fucking reason, and that to me was like the funniest thing ever. I was like cackling laughing at that shit.
Good.
I don't know. Modern Family Guy, like, it's dog shit, but it hits kind of a sweet spot. But I've just been kind of relapsing because I just realized, like, I take such comfort in Family Guy, like, as a thing, because it was something I watched so much as a kid, and it's like it's so just nice to watch. Like, it's either just stupid, but you can kind of numb yourself when you're watching it. Like, it's crazy. Like a joint, like smoking a joint and like watching some Family Guy is like the greatest like pastime of all time. Like, I think. It's just, it's just
watch
like
out for those gas station tweakers. You gotta watch out for that.
Don't buy no gas station weed.
Watch out for like the gas station sushi, dude.
Don't buy that gas station Peter, man. Don't buy that gas station.
Yeah, the gas station sushi from Thumb.
From Thumb.
How do you pronounce the?
What was
like,
Ham? What was it? Was it egg salad sandwich that Fry ate from the gas station that gave him the worms?
Yeah, I think it was.
It was an egg salad sandwich, right?
Yeah, I
think
so.
The fucking immense power.
It gave him the worms that gave him super intelligence.
Yeah, the hyper intelligent worms. It was like the fucking dude. That 7-Eleven egg salad sandwich is like evil. Like, it calls to me like it's pure evil. And I must resist every time because I'll be
every
like,
time you watch that Futurama episode, you're like, oh man, I
like,
might get those worms that make me super
dude,
smart.
no, that wasn't even it. I just like, I'll be going to like, if like either I'll be coming home from work or something, I'll go to 7-Eleven because it's the only thing in my neighborhood that's open after a certain point. So like it'll be like 3 a.m. and I'll be like walking around and I'll be like, okay, I'm at 7-Eleven, like I'm gonna stop and get like a drink and like some snacks or something. It's because they don't really have any actual food, and I like there's not really a lot I can eat there. It's like one of the only things I could theoretically eat at 7-Eleven is like the egg salad sandwich, and it's like sometimes like I get desperate, it's like I'm eyeing it up, I'm like, dude, you should not eat that. Like it's like evil. It has like a dominion over me. Like, it has a power. I'm a slave to the 7-Eleven egg salad sandwich.
Slave.
Slave. That's Phantom trying to go slaves.
I love slaves.
Oh my god.
The underground road. Just how vile.
Hanif, I love that your impression of literally any YouTuber who has either a Scottish, Irish, or Australian accent just ends up sounding like Cookie Monster. Like, it's so funny. An English, Scottish, Irish, or like Australian accent, anytime, any variation of that. Like, you try to do your critical drinker impression, you literally make him sound like fucking Cookie Monster. He's the funniest shit ever.
He goes, man, this show's so long. Oh my god.
Like, that's not a Scottish person. That's a Muppet. Like, that's a Muppet voice.
If you would do the quartering,
like
they have like evil versions where it's like the Nickling. He loves like being woke. He loves wokeness.
Yeah,
He's like,
Nick
I think
Ca-
this
yeah,
movie
Nick
needs more
Tango.
gay
Critical
people, don't
Joker
you?
has like
I'd love that. And
oh, that's true.
no, that already exists. It's Quentin Reviews.
The quartering versus Quentin Reviews. They like
Dude,
fight
they
to
are-
the death in
they
mud
are
wrestle.
literally-
They are this.
like
They're
Sonic
like,
and
dude.
Shadow.
I like to believe that at one point they were one entity and they split apart.
It's like Demon King Piccolo.
Yeah, it's like Piccolo or like
Kami.
fucking I'm trying to think of another example. Like Piccolo and Kami, yeah. It's probably the best one.
You're an old guy. Special. Beam you in your old eye.
Kami. And I just go,
You ain't
Piccolo,
getting no-
you have no
no
sauce.
sauce.
You ain't getting no draws.
Well, it took us 29 episodes, but we finally mentioned the where
We
our
finally
name came
mentioned the
from.
namesake of the fucking Senzu Bean
Yeah,
cartel.
we finally
I don't think we've ever done an SSJ9K bit. on
That
this
is
fucking
bizarre
show.
that we've never even mentioned
That is.
that.
This is bizarre.
Wait,
said
Denji from
Yeah. I have no knowledge of any of it.
I have no knowledge of
That's
any of
actually what's
this.
gonna
Dr.
happen.
Mario,
We're gonna
Dr.
s- we're
Mario.
gonna have to say that when he asks for his alimony. Like
Is it
over
Edgar
and over
Allan
again,
Poe?
say-
Dude, I can tell. I can tell we're at the point of the episode where we're running into Steve because I'm saying Dr. Mario and he's saying Makima.
Yeah, that's Denji when they're asking.
He's like Homer
but-
Simpson when he's watching Chinsama. He goes,
No, but we
Makima."
need to figure out what the SBC means. That's not Sensu Bean Cartel because we might
It's
be
Super
in
Big
trouble.
Chungus. Come on, you know this.
Super Big Chungus. Okay, yeah, there we go. Because
What's it-
SSJ.
hold on.
I love how for the
money.
longest time, my friends who weren't in the SBC when they found out about, they assumed it was Super Big Chungus like automatically. 'Cause it
Ronan,
was, like-
what the hell is a chungus?
I don't know. We should ask Drax if he knows.
Yeah.
That's still one of the funniest stories. One of his Big Chungus fan 53, and I had Big Chungus fan 53 message
I
me, and he said,
cannot
"You absolute
believe-
fucking retard." And I just sent him a fucking image of Drax pointing and laughing, and just said in impact font, he said Big Chungus. What the fuck is a Chungus?
Dude, I cannot believe Epic Games stole Big Chungus. From
I
you.
know it's
Like
ridiculous.
genuinely.
It's genuine. It's ridiculous. I demand Fortnite money,
Fortnite. I demand to have
Fortnite.
Ninja on the podcast.
dude. We're gonna watch The Lighthouse, and we're gonna like get up and cheer when Willem Dafoe goes Fortnite. Mr. Winslow, Fortnite.
Oh, guys, that reminds me. Did you hear they casted Robin for the Pattinson Batman like sequel?
Is
Would
it
it be Bill
fucking
Cosby?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Is it
No.
I'm
Orby?
sorry.
was-
Shut up!
It's no. It's Willem
That's a
Dafoe.
horrifying image. Wait, as Robin?
Why?
Yeah.
What?
He's gonna go
Yeah.
Fortnite,
He's
Mr.
80 years
Wayne.
old.
Fortnite.
Okay.
He's gonna go
Fortnite.
I think
Dude, I just like
the
the character saying Fortnite is like the funniest shit ever to me now. I think it is time to wrap up. Any
No,
final
I have
words
one,
before
I have
we
one
do
more.
that? Okay.
Yeah, I have one more last bit. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
It's-
Speak. Yes. Flap your gums and speak your piece and spill your guff. Okay.
Yeah, be still. Pharaoh speaks. Yeah.
Yeah. Deji and Chainsaw
Macklemore.
Man. Yeah. Yeah.
That was
Deji's, No, Deji.
Lisa.
Deji when his ex-girlfriend comes asking for his alimony payments, and he's like, "This is bizarre. I had no knowledge of any of this."
I don't know anything about Chainsaw Man, so.
No,
Oh,
it's Deji,
dude.
like
Okay, hold on.
Comedy
Wait.
Shorts
I'm
Gamer.
gonna let you lose
okay.
episode on this. Do not look up Comedy Shorts Gamer original intro. Do not do it. Don't do it. I'm serious. Don't do it.
I couldn't believe when I found out. Like, you showing me that, you guys were showing me that. I was like,
Don't
"That's
look
real."
that
I was like,
up,
"Oh
serious,
my
please, don't do it."
god!" Don't look that up, please. Whatever
It
you
is
do.
unbelievably evil.
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
good.
Or is that ever gonna wrap up
Yeah.
now?
I think.
Yeah,
I think we
everyone
covered-
like.
All right. This has been SBC podcast
up.
episode 29 or 30, and
I think it's 29.
I think
Yeah.
it's
I
30,
think it's Family Guy
actually.
Peter, but yeah. This is
Comedy Shorts
the Makima
Gamer.
episode.
Yeah, this is the
Don't look, please.
Yeah, please don't look
I would implore you not to look that up. But I have been Ronan at Ronan the Accuser. Or, no, I'm not Ronan the Accuser. I'm Getter Ronan Work. I'm not used to that yet. I gave somebody the wrong Instagram handle a while ago.
They said,
Yeah.
"Hey, we're gonna give you $1 million. What's your ad again?" You said,
No,
I've been-
no.
Yeah, you know what, guys? Hold on. It's all good. It's all good. We're all glad that Ronan's still alive after he got attacked by Nardwar.
That's true. I did get
Wait.
attacked by Nardwar, and I got attacked by Sabor, and I got attacked by Clonin, and I got attacked by.
He
Why
goes,
Nardwar?
No,
I
you
meant
get
to
Ronan.
say
Did you say
Jaguar.
You said Nardwar. You said Nardwar. I'm gonna give something just for you, Ronan.
Dude, Nardwar is next on Red's link
357
on Red's
Magnum.
list. Like, no, he's gonna get
A
Nardwar
pit
next.
trap in front of your house.
Will it blend? Will it blend? Dude, I think
Nardwuar
Nardwuar
would
could
find
I
him.
think Nardwuar could defeat him. I'm gonna be honest. I think Nardwuar would have the
would.
foresight to be able to plan against him and stop him.
Nardwuar would crack him down. He would be like Batman with prep time.
I have a gift for you,
gift for
Rhett.
you,
A
Rhett.
bear trap.
I have a gift for
trap
you,
in front of your
Rhett. I have a
house.
gift just for you, Rhett. There are 13 snipers trained on your location.
That's
Will
I'm
it
working with the
break?
police.
Will it break? Will
That's
it
like
tear?
Alien versus Predator. Like,
Dude,
that's
I
a
would
battle
kill to
of
see
fucking-
like a movie or or something. I would kill to see a fucking movie or something about like Nardwuar like working with like Batman or some shit.
I hope Brett's the next
Wait,
villain in the movie.
Batman's
He's
like, I
he's
need
making
help on
videos
this
like,
one,
will it tear?
Alfred.
Will it break? And it's like just fucking.
Batman's trying to stop. Batman's trying to stop Rhett. He's like the Riddler. He's like making all these like saw trap videos. And
I
shit
just
like
had
that.
the image of like Nardwuar as the Riddler, like in that scene in the Batman where he's like, "Isn't that right, Bruce Wayne?" It's like, no, and he's like,
What have you done?
"Bruce Wayne, I have a gift for you. Here's the gun that
He
killed
would
your
do that.
parents."
He was red. I have a gift for
would,
you.
he would, he
Remember
would
this
get that.
machete? Oh god.
It's I had a cloning lab and I created Dark
Revenge.
Link.
Oh yeah, we gotta go.
Okay, we
Okay,
do have to wrap up the
let's wrap
episode.
up. Okay, go. Who's next?
Okay.
I think all of our things are gonna be in the description, right? Like, I
Yeah,
think
we
so.
got Goog, we got the Goog, we got the Hanif, we got the Fiona, we
Yeah,
got the Faf Clap.
we got the Goog, we
hamburger,
got the dab.
Okay, are we done?
Yeah, I think we're about
I hope you
done.
enjoyed this
Okay.
episode. If so, leave a comment or something like that.
Yeah,
us
leave a comment and say
Leave
how
a-
much you
leave a
love
PSN
fucking
code,
Spy
something
Family and
like
Chainsaw.
that.
Yeah, all right, now let's all go to let's all go to Barnes
the
and Noble like barefoot.
Yeah.
Okay.
September 20th next year will be Barefoot Barnes and Noble Day, even though we are Canadian.
Okay.
I don't believe we have Barnes and Noble.
And the thumbnail will
Goodbye.
be Hanif and Anya. All right,
Okay,
bye.
good night. Hello. Oh my god.